Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Tumbleweeds and Tombstones, the game where each week my players accuse me of trying to kill them, and I have to let them know that they're already dead.
At least for the holiday season.
Yes, welcome back after the holidays. Yeah. Hope everyone had, relatively good ones. I hope everyone had fun, got to enjoy themselves, and hopefully came out healthy on the other side.
I went to my first O'Leary Christmas and did not come back with leftovers.
I hope people got some tasty loot.
Right? You actually left without leftovers. It's amazing. So, I guess we should jump into a recap. So, when last we left the Obsidian Spurs, you guys were continuing ever on towards the Lupine encampment led by Peta, the young Lupine, the illegitimate son of the now dead Chief Murukuro, who has struck a deal with you to lead you back to his village, allowing you to take out the heads of the war party that have gathered together to eradicate the scourge of the vampires in this area, in return for safe passage for those who are innocents of his tribe, and for him to be able to get them out safely before all the fighting starts. You made it through the shoulders of the grandfather, the mountain plateau that had within it a burial ground of long-dead Lupine warriors who still remain vigilant, defending this path from incursion.
Not anymore.
Well, after a little bit of grave robbing, you guys then made it down the perilous switchback path on the back of the plateau and along the frozen river that was the Mother's Tears, escaping a entrapment of magic of some kind, your own dark reflections in the ice, trying to reach out and having to do battle with your insecurities and fears. From that point, you guys continue to journey towards a mostly dead, or at least hibernating through the deep winter forest that continued to get more dense and made the journey with the carriage a little bit more difficult. The hint you had gotten in this one was to follow the brothers' cries in darkness. Only then will you see the light of the true path, or something to that effect. I was close. I'm paraphrasing. This is the remix.
I wrote it and I paraphrased it.
Right? Quote me. You noticed that that Peta had warned you that this was a forest that even his tribe avoids, that long ago there had been a battle between warring factions of Lupine, and there had been a high casualty toll here, and ever since then the woods seemed unwelcoming and they did not traverse here. But the reason he was bringing you through was, one, the cover of not necessarily being seen by patrolling bands of his tribe, and also because it is the quickest route to get you through. It also would potentially offer some cover in the daylight hours. But as you got through, the carriage seemed to have struck a root or something that, as some of you started hearing this wailing and crying in what sounds almost like the gnashing of, it's what seemed like the wind at first seems to almost carry tormented voices on it. Noah had volunteered to get down and try and see what was going on, but couldn't see in the darkness. You guys had chosen to light the oil lanterns that were on the carriage, and in doing so notice a couple of things. One, that the gnarled bark of the trees surrounding you almost seem to peer down as like faces staring back in anger or pain. Furthermore, the muck, the wet muck that Noah and I think a couple of the rest of you who had dismounted, if I remember correctly, were feeling actually seemed to be almost this crimson red, very much this viscous, much like blood, that was seeping from underneath the snow and staining it. And lastly, Noah, as you inspected, the branch of one of the roots seemed to have worked its way between the spokes of one of the back wheels. An impossible task, unless, of course, as you guys looked up and saw that the trees were actually creaking and moving and their branches moving towards you. And that is where we ended it. The only other thing I would say that was of note was Wea trying to have a staring contest with Henry, and seeing something darker within that as he tried to intimidate and stare at it, stared back at him and gave him visions of his mother's death firsthand, memories that had been not available to him now being crystal clear, as well as visions of some hellish landscape that he has never been to before, and a true fear of what might be lurking inside of Henry.
Everything's fine.
I repressed that memory.
He's just going through his grunge phase. It's fine.
Not a phase.
Right. So with that, I actually need everyone to go ahead and roll me some initiative.
That's why I had to
Okay.
And then me
Y'all
and
know what
Henry
that
are on
is.
Henry's horse, actually.
I can live with that.
Yeah, we're going to get to placement when I pull up the map. So everyone please post it in chat.
My initiative is not
What if
great this time.
if I roll my initiative before I tell you what I do, then I don't get to do as many free actions for free. God, what is math?
Right.
Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more.
All right, let me roll for Asmodeus. Ooh, not great for Azzy. Okay.
For Azzy,
Really? Wow.
it's like the ex-girlfriend he sees on like
How did
out
we
of
know
nowhere and
Assy
like gives him a nickname.
has now entered lexicon. Assy is now entered lexicon for Asmodeus.
Oh, Assy, here, Assy.
And those with ghouls, don't forget to roll for them. However, Bartleby is still out of the picture as he has been fed upon and is sleeping soundly. For the record, you probably could rouse him. It's just a matter of he would be extremely groggy.
You want me to rouse him in front of the children?
I mean, anyone who's been watching this broadcast for long enough knows that this is not a child-friendly show.
Fuck no.
Yeah.
What, we were good. We were nice to Lupe. We
There was
only
some low initiatives, y'all.
Yeah, nice to Lupe. I mean, you shot that monk kid in the face, but other than that, like...
Well, you know, that's 1 for 2. We killed several people around her.
We
She
also
seemed fine eventually after the crying stopped.
There may have
We
been a
also
young one we did.
burned down like 3 or 4 buildings.
I'm blowing bubbles against Lyman's wishes.
All right. Let's see. So we got Atris, we got Liam, we've got Sonoy and Wea, we've got Asmodeus, we've got Noah. Yeah, I think that's everyone. And then I need to roll for... Oh, I did forget one thing in the recap. When you lit the light, you did see ghostly figures in a circle around you, eyes missing from their sockets, jaws stretched in an unnatural length, just moaning and seeming to be creeping towards the light.
I call them the Kellyanne Conways.
They actually have a pretty low initiative. However, they did really well on the roll. So,
Oh my gosh, is Sonoy at the top of the initiative roll?
he actually might be. Man, we're going back to episode 1, guys.
Never mind. I thought he's one ahead, but yeah.
Actually, no.
Oh yeah, you're still rolling for.
Sorry, I have to roll for like all these NP. Oh, I have to also roll for PETA.
I'm sure Peter's just chilling. I'm sure this is fine with him.
Was Henry also in the fight as well?
Who?
Henry.
Oh, yes. Yeah, sorry, I have like 15 NPCs to roll.
No, I'm trying. Yeah, I understand. I'm just trying making sure I remember all of them as well.
Let's see.
No, he's just gonna be like,
Currently, because he's not in wolf form, Henry.
oh my god.
Is Marshall nearby? Is he...
No.
Right.
Don't have an Adele to summon him, really.
Oh
I mean,
my
I could.
god, I can't believe you guys are out here.
We're just in pitch black, hearing nothing but these like creeping breaths.
Marshall
then just him.
actually he saves us, then proceeds to talk shit about us the whole time.
I
And
imagine
just
that
like,
anytime Marshall's,
we could devour you.
I imagine anytime he's nearby, that Liam just hears the Andy Griffith whistling music in the background for no good reason.
Like anytime you try and do read thoughts, that's just what's playing.
Like a saloon piano, just
Right? Like that's his elevator music. That's his like couple of brain cells rubbing together kind of thing.
Uh-huh. That's just like the idle music in his brain.
Exactly. All right. That's his load music. All right. So fans at home, I know this is super exciting to watch us all here. Talk amongst yourselves while I sit there and figure out the initiative roll. Or order, I should say.
He said,
Okay.
"You fans, we're done talking. It's on you now."
Right.
Oh, wait.
Talk amongst yourselves, class.
We're
I'm trying to
listening.
see if I can get myself a Curly Q up here.
Everyone react. Just have standard reactions to whatever the fans are currently saying right now.
I mean, that's kind of gross, but if you had to, I mean, I'm into it.
I love it. I actually got a fun new tchotchke for Christmas.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Oh, why?
I can't wait to see how you made that.
fancy.
Oh, I have a bad habit with these.
I think Shades, Sonoy, Atris is the first three.
That's like a
Walter.
rap song.
Walter's first.
Oh wait,
okay.
Walter. Yeah, Walter is first. Okay, cool. So let me just
Walter.
there.
We
Walter,
have ellipses.
Shades.
Fuck yeah.
I don't know if my mic picked it up, but I love that I can hear my roommate screaming from his room because he's losing at whatever game he's playing.
But or because it's condensed, or I'm in closer
I'll be right back.
proximity. I don't know if my mic would pick it up.
I heard faintly something pretty funny sounding. It sounded like someone being just, bad at games.
Okay, so then I think
Get good, scrub.
I think Asmodeus is next.
Dude, we've never seen roommate actually game, so I have no idea if he actually wins this shit.
I think he's playing League of Legends.
Okay, Asmodeus,
Assy.
and then Wea. Oh wait, no, let's see. Trees, then Wea.
Oh wow, Wea is not actually last or even like next to last.
Let's see. 10. Noah got a 4. Henry got a 3. So then it's Noah,
I think Liam is last.
Liam is
Henry.
very last.
I remember a few games ago I rolled a 1, so I put me pretty much at the bottom of the initiative list.
Then I think it's PETA and
Yeah, Peter's 1 ahead of Liam.
yeah. All right, woohoo! We have an initiative order, which means I can now share
Oh, no.
screen.
Do the thing.
Oh no. Ba-ba-ba.
Okay, so a
Oh.
little bit of a explanation here. So, all right, so all these structures right here are the trees, or at least the more prominent ones. There's a lot of like smaller saplings and things like that in the area, but any ones that would be more of an issue are labeled here. The shades are these individuals here. Now I know exactly where this is your carriage. I know where Noah is because he
was hacking the root by the at the wheel.
Wait, no.
Noah was performing citizen science
Yeah, he was
for our behalf.
hacking away at that root at the wheel, unless he did something else afterwards. I'm not remembering.
Nope. That's what caused the trees to start reacting. So where's everyone else?
Liam and Henry were on Henry's horse a little bit ahead of the group.
Okay, so that would put you, Liam and Henry. All right. Wea, where were you?
I believe I was inside the carriage.
Wait. Shit. Okay, well, just because I don't want to have to mess with it right now, we'll just put you right there and that'll be that you're inside. Where's Sonoy? Is he also inside?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Liam's covered. I think PETA was also on his horse up by you guys. As a matter of fact, I think he was beyond the circle of shades. Bartleby is asleep inside the carriage currently.
Good for him.
Atris, where are you?
I know she was outside. We'll say she's generally on the side of the carriage. I will say the upper side, near where you have Wea and Sonoy icons. We'll just say she's in that general area.
Okay, but not on the carriage.
Not on the carriage.
You're
No,
not
I
on
remember.
it?
Okay. Then Walter.
Yeah, I think Asmodeus and I are on the carriage.
Okay, so I'll just put you.
I know I am.
Here. Who was driving the carriage?
Was Liam not? If Liam wasn't, then I would have been, right?
Yeah, I thought it was Walter and Atris. I thought Walter was driving and Atris was riding shotgun.
We were benching it.
This is what happens, folks, when we don't play for a while.
We were benching it.
Also, it
Yeah,
looks like
I'm driving. I'm driving.
That's
Also,
why I remember Atris was outside.
it looks like my
Okay.
camera died, so I'm gonna have to leave and come back. So give me a second.
Okay, so then Walter, you were driving then, yes?
Mhm.
And Atris, you were riding shotgun?
Yeah, so we'll put that to shotgun because now I remember clearly that she was outside, but I just couldn't remember where she was.
Okay, well, I mean,
Our-
that,
Yeah.
and we're back.
Eh.
Man, that was an exciting fight. If any of you missed that, that is the highlight of this campaign.
Episode's over, guys. Catch you next time.
Ooh.
That was such a good one.
Put little
I
I don't
X's
think we'll
everywhere.
ever top
And
that.
then when the flying monkeys came in,
Did you guys see what my son did? That was amazing.
And then Marshall came back and he was all ripped and shredded, and he's like, "I have come from the future to help you." And yeah, good times.
Future cyborg. Marshall.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Marshall,
I want that timeline, dude.
They design all of them to look like Deputy Marshall.
Oh no, dude.
Like the original Deputy Marshal is just like a brain with like a little bit of stuff in a jar somewhere.
Good times.
Y'all, I can't do that, Hal.
Oh no.
Anyway, getting back to the game. Okay, so starting up the shades, actually. As of right now, other than very slowly, and it doesn't seem like their feet, it's one of those things of you see them and it very much looks like things that were human at one time. Some of them have straggly bits of like dark hair. Some of them look semi-mummified but preserved. Actually, anyone who's looking at all this, go ahead and give me a perception plus medicine roll.
Yeah, I'll take a look at a semi.
Yeah.
Wanna see.
Damn it. 1.
Okay, you know nothing. This is just freaky shit for you.
I had 2, but then I 10 canceled it out with a 1.
3.
Thing.
Nope, same. I got 0.
So anyone
forgot.
okay, so how many did who got more than 2? So okay, or 2 at least. Okay. Walter, Wea, anyone else? No. Okay. So I'll say Walter and Wea, you've seen hard times, you've seen battle in these kind of climates. You've seen what happens when a body is left out in the snow.
Let go.
And is almost kind of preserved in the snow, and decomp is kind of slowed down quite a bit. This kind of looks like that, only if it had been left out for decades of winter. And I will also say that they only seem to be semi there. They're somewhat translucent. You can kind of see behind them slightly. As the body goes down to like the midsection, it starts to get more pale and more opaque to the point where you don't see feet touching the ground. However, as they start coming very slowly towards the light, almost reaching out, you see bloody footprints in the snow where the feet would be, approaching and coming closer.
When they approach, do they amble or do they just float straight toward us? In terms of like their shoulders or heads or whatever.
There is a kind of like a almost like a frozen long since rigor mortis body. However, again, it's kind of a combination. The movement forward seems fluid, but the body movements of them almost seem like rigor mortis bodies trying to move after being frozen in the snow for a long time.
It's breaking laws. Break its legs.
I call Rigor Morris.
I can kind of see through these things. What the hell are these?
All right, so that's their turn. They seem to be focused on just moving forward, and there's something that they're reaching towards. That's just what they're doing. So Walter, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
I'll say what I did and shoot. I'll like elbow Atris and get kind of on edge and say they're leaving They have bloody footprints. Fuck are these? And then I'm gonna actually, while saying that, I'm gonna stand up in the bench and turn and look at Asmodeus, who is question mark mounted on top.
Yeah, it's just this particular app, until I can figure it out a little bit more, is having trouble with bringing
Yeah.
people on, but he's on the mounted gun
Right,
behind
all right. So I mean, I sort of just addressed the question at him. And if he has a quick reaction of any kind, I'd hope for that before I act, but if not, if I don't have time for that, then I'll do something
He's
else.
actually, if you glance back, he's looking up and to the left at the tree, the closest tree that is looming down with branches coming towards you, guy, as the knotted holes in the tree start to make what looks like a not quite the scream face, but close to it, as the bark starts to bend and crack and be looming over the carriage. I will also say, Walter, that's just you talking. That's a free action. You're currently holding the reins. You'll have a choice of spending your turn. Again, you can also burn a celerity if you so choose. But if you don't burn a celerity, you can either spend your turn trying to calm down the horses or do something else.
Yeah. So I do what I did without leaving my spot. And then so Asmodeus is just kind of consumed looking at that, probably.
Right.
And then-
I will say that he responds and goes, I think they're trouble.
Shit, we're on the same page then. Y'all, I'm gonna keep these animals in line, but what the hell do we do? And I'm going to attempt to handle our animals. Is that gonna be Dex? I don't know. Manipulation animal can?
What'd you ask? It's definitely Animalkin. What was the other thing?
Manipulation?
Yes.
Crossed. That's 4 dice. 2 of them are successes.
Okay. 2 successes. Yeah. The Gould horses seem pretty. They're still not. I mean, even ghouls like Bartleby and others that you guys have come across in your past, it's not like they're immune to fear. However, they're at least not being just animals that are not used to the supernatural at all, but they're still not pleased about what's going on. You can see an unease and a shift. However, the other horses, they are, before you notice, they were about on the second from bolting in whatever direction they could, because they are now surrounded and trees are fucking moving and there's blood seeping out from the ground. However, what do you do to calm them down?
Hey, we're safer here than going anywhere else. This is right where we need to be. Just stay with us, you'll be safe. And I'm patting a couple horses' bottoms if I can reach them too.
I'll say it kind of is a little bit of a shift of trying to
and sort of a steady solid hold on the reins that's not jarring, hopefully.
Yeah, so I'd say you do that, and again, they're still nervous, they're still not liking what's happening, it's not like they're like, oh, okay, but you at least are keeping them from completely just bolting on you.
All right, that's all I've got going this turn.
Yeah. And I will say for the group, if you want any chance of these horses not bolting, I'll say even without you guys having to make a roll for it, someone has to spend their turn focused on keeping these horses calm and collected and everything else. Now, if you have celerity, you can choose to do more
Burn
than
celerity.
yeah, but yeah, so just you keep that in mind. You're very aware that these horses are not cool with what's going on. And that the carriage had taken some damage from your last excursion. All right, so that's their turn. The shades, same thing. They're just, and it's very slow. It's an extremely slow movement, and they are seemingly approaching. I will say, Liam, because you're closest, if you want, you can go ahead and either make a wits plus no, not wits. Perception plus empathy roll, or perception plus alertness roll.
Is it standard?
Yeah, I'd say standard.
5.
5?
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. And which one did you do? Did you do the
Empathy.
empathy? Okay. At the moment, you're the closest, like the closest one to you by the map is the one that's kind of like up and to the left of where you're on the horse with Henry. They don't seem, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell because they don't have eyeballs, it's just eye sockets, but the direction that the face is going, they don't seem to be looking directly at you. They seem to be looking towards the carriage. So that's their turn. It is Sonoy's turn. He is inside the carriage and growling. Hackles are raised on his back, fangs bared. He's also not really a fan of what's currently transpiring.
Yeah, he's just gonna look at Wea and wait for, and he's gonna hold his action for Wea's command, because he's
Okay.
not sure what he can do.
What exactly is he holding? What is the trigger for the
Wea telling him something to do.
I guess so. Okay, that works. All right, that's Sonoy's turn. Atris, you're up.
All right. She's gonna dismount from her position to the side of the carriage, but stay relatively close. She's gonna draw her sword. From what she can see, she's not gonna engage anyone right now. But can she see any similarities in the ghost than to any of the ghosts that we've encountered during the trials before?
Go ahead and, I mean, if you're just wanting to make a look, that would be a perception plus alertness. But if you really want to analyze them, I'd say it would be wits plus occult.
I'll keep it in line. I'll do a what's occult.
Okay. So wits occult is going to be, how much occult does Atris have?
1.
Okay, I'm going to say it's difficulty 7 just because this is a little bit outside of your wheelhouse.
That's a 0.
All right. So yeah, this is just you're the espionage and the show me where to fuck things, physical things up assassin. This occult stuff is really kind of new for you. You've heard about it. You've heard some of the scholars from Alamut talking about things like this, but not really your area of expertise.
Yeah, it was worth a shot.
Right. And I will say, you notice as you slosh down in the snow, more of that red viscous fluid seems to be seeping up on your shoes.
And it just appears to be slush overcoming my shoes. Like, how is it?
No, it's not like you're sinking into it. Anything
right.
More than how much you get that there's at least a few inches of snow on the ground, and it's kind of like when there's mud underneath the snow, and as you're walking through it, sometimes the mud starts to be brought up because you're crunching through the snow to hit the mud. Only this seems like more than mud. Or at least it's a red viscous mud.
Gotcha. Okay, at this point, she doesn't want to go anywhere far away from the carriage or the horses at all. So she will remain in position and I suppose hold for any kind of attack against her, either her or the horses or the carriage or anyone else.
Okay. Well, I mean, I will say the tree is looking a little bit more threatening than like the ghouls are just shambling towards and like reaching towards the carriage.
Yeah, she's just looking for threats in general. She's not focused solely on the ghost. She's just trying to.
Yeah. So far, the tree looks pretty threatening.
If it looks like the tree is getting close to anywhere near the carriage, or I know there's that one section that Noah cut, but if there's anything else, she's gonna want to cut him off.
Okay, these two here seem to be the one to the left and the one to the right, just because of what's within reach, seem to be the most immediate threat.
All right, so we'll keep her close to the carriage, but have her attention towards, we'll say that's the south tree.
Okay, and you're going to go ahead and make a cut towards it?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and make an attack roll for the tree.
All right.
So this would be your dex plus melee.
Right. Four successes.
Yeah. The tree is not very good at dodging, so so go ahead and roll damage plus 3.
Right.
And don't forget the penalty due to the sword being damaged.
Also 4 for damage.
Okay. Let me make note of that. So yeah, you do you go for a stab or a slash?
Slash.
Okay, you slash the tree and you get a pretty solid hit on it, and the bark does give way a bit. It's a tree, so it's not as soft as like stabbing flesh, but you do give a pretty good cut to the bark, and the sap is almost not quite, it's very similar to what you feel like you're stepping in. This very crimson red viscous sap starts leaking from the slash you make in the tree.
Now, if I can't, but can I immediately smell if it's more blood-like, or is that another action? I can't do that.
I'd say in this moment, go ahead and make a quick perception plus alertness roll. Difficulty is 7 just because you're trying to focus on the battle as well as analyze this.
Hard to be a sommelier during combat.
Right.
Double botch.
How much?
Double botch.
Really hard, apparently.
You know, there's this stuff that you heard about from Wea when he was like up north a little bit more, that mortals used to put on these like flat dough pastries that they usually have around breakfast time, and it sounds good if you could still eat food, and you assume that this smells kind of like that.
It's really educational.
Yes.
Pancakes.
For some reason you feel like hopping, and you are the one doing it.
Okay.
No.
Who hops?
Okay, so that is Atris's go. Asmodeus is now up. Yeah, he's not having this, so he sits there and let's see, he has the impatient flaw too. Let's see if he thinks this through. He does not.
It's not.
He sits there and pivots the machine gun at the tree to the left here, which is actually no, to this one that is currently holding the carriage that Atris just slashed, and just unloads and starts firing into the center of mass at the tree.
Whoa.
Does the tree dodge?
You know, it's close, but I don't think it quite does.
Oh, boy. How many shots is that? Like,
Let's see,
I
we
don't
worked,
know. He the bullets.
let's see.
we worked this out before.
It got revised twice is why I have to ask. I don't actually see the, oh yeah, regular fire uses 5 bullets.
Yep, and let's see, that was how much damage?
I don't know. You fired it.
I wanna make sure like that,
I think the
no,
damage,
like I have multiple notes.
Let's see. Regular fire uses 5 bullets after 3 rounds. Needs 1 turn cooldown to be reloaded. Stationary dex plus firearms +3 difficulty standard.
That's what I'm reading now, yeah.
Dex plus firearms +3 difficulty 8. Regular damage
So-
3 lethal plus hit successes.
Dex plus firearms +3.
yeah, I rolled that part, and then the damage was how much?
For a
The
regular-
regular damage is 3 lethal plus the hit successes.
Cool.
And like, it's something or other about splitting damages and not being able to aim it.
Damage is 3 lethal plus hit successes divided amongst all hit targets.
Okay, so yeah,
Right.
he just starts going, and the bark starts splintering out, and Noah Natris, it kind of rains on you a little bit as more of the sap just starts bleeding through, and the branches of the tree start whipping around angrily. It definitely did not like that. Which, speaking of which, it is now the tree's turn.
Yeah.
Asmodeus.
Okay. Not much on Dex, however, strength and athletics.
I find these trees to be arbitrary.
Ah,
They pine over me.
you
Keep needling us with that.
I'm married to him. And I want you to keep it coming.
Let's see if Asmodeus dodges this.
This.
Yeah, he dodges the first one as a branch comes whipping down towards him, and he jumps and rolls, which then puts him on, I'd say, over here. As the tree smashes down, I will say that the carriage does take 2 bashing. So I don't know who was keeping track of the carriage's hit points.
Wow, okay. Well,
I remember
it wasn't 5 out of 6, so that would put it at 3 out of 6 from this
Yep.
one blow. Well,
It's always
Yeah.
nice when our characters don't get to determine what happens to our stuff.
I
But
mean,
here's
we're
the
here.
good thing. It can be repaired.
If
It's
it
not,
ever makes it out of here.
the other one is going to hero use his dodge, and this one's going to slam at him too, as it just tried to attack its tree friend, and this time he can't dodge. Yeah, and he takes 6 bashing, reduced to 3, and we'll see if he soaks it.
Is this from a second tree?
Yeah, this is from this tree.
Okay, okay.
He ends up taking 2 of that, so he takes 2 bashing as another branch comes down and down across his back.
Oh, no.
Okay, that is that is the tree's turn. The other ones are not close enough to do anything. Wea, you're up.
Boy. Okay.
Are we bound yet?
That's what I was gonna do. That's right. I am gonna exit the carriage and try to climb my way up to where Walter is.
Okay. I would say easy enough for, I mean, the carriage isn't moving or anything else, so.
Can I see the horses from Walter's position?
I mean,
This is the
yes,
bench. They're right in front of us.
Yeah.
Excellent. I'm gonna look at Walter and I'll say, I'll handle the horses. You go figure out what we need to do here, but I'll keep the horses settled. And I'll grab the reins from him and I will look at the horses and cast Feral Whispers.
Okay. Go ahead and do your thing.
Speak and possibly command. No roll to speak, but I will make a command of manipulation and animal ken.
Okay. So go ahead and do your thing.
Let me roll that real fast. Two, three, four, five. 3 successes, and the command I'm going to give the horses is to relax, calm down.
Ooh, okay. Let's see. I'll say that gives them, and you got how many successes on it?
3.
Okay. I'll say those 3 successes go to their courage die.
Courage.
Yeah. Not completely, but they definitely seem more calm than they did just a second ago, where they're still on edge and waiting to see if they have to react and kind of waiting for you to give them an order. But beyond that, they're at least keeping their wits about them.
Excellent.
All right, Noah, it is your turn. Sharpened shovel in hand, was hacking into this tree root that was holding back the wheel of the carriage.
I'm gonna pump my strength a little bit.
Go for it.
I'm gonna pump it 2 points of blood. And I'm gonna push this cart forward. The wagon.
Okay, yeah, okay. Then this is gonna be just straight strength. And so you're pumping your blood, and then don't forget your potence die.
Mm-hmm. What's difficulty?
The root's still semi-attached, so I'm gonna say diff 8. Especially because you're also trying to push this with the horses being still attached to it. So you're also kind of trying to encourage the horses to move forward too.
Okay.
Like you do.
I have 5 successes.
Okay. Yeah. Everyone inside the carriage starts to notice as it starts to move forward and gets to the point where, because the horses are tethered to it, it's kind of pushing them forward too, and they're starting to go with the momentum. They were looking for an excuse to move, and it's starting to move. So I would say, just so that way this, Liam, you notice the carriage moving up almost like right up behind you.
Yeah. Okay.
Henry. And let's see, you're pushing this, so you're right here.
I did see you cover up an icon, just an FYI.
Huh?
I did see you cover up one of the characters with courage. Just
There we go. Ah. All right. Henry is on the horse, and he whispers back to Liam, "What do we do?"
Well, if
Let's get
My
the hell
friend
out of
is-
here.
well, if our friend is any indication, probably attacking them is what's going to make them swing. I'd say we keep trying to push forward.
Okay, so are we running or fighting?
I'd say we slowly make our way retreating.
Okay. Then he's going to sit there and hold his action for hostility, but he has one hand on the reins and one on one of his guns, and is kind of switching between leveling it at the shades to the trees to, kind of just seeing what's gonna try and attack first. And so I'll say he moves a little bit more up. PETA is looking around. He's going to actually spend his turn transforming into his not actual battle lupine form, but the one that's like the dire wolf, the one that's like the size of a horse, as you see him go down on all fours and the fur start to appear on his body, and the large that humped back that a lot of mammals had in prehistoric times, as the large fangs about yay big appear, and he seems ready to move quickly but also to attack as needed. Okay, Liam, it is your turn.
And Henry, this might just be a little uncomfortable. I apologize. Liam is going to kind of like grab onto Henry's belt and roll over the side of the horse, trying not to get off of it. He's going to reach his hand into the goop.
Okay.
And he's going to taste it.
Okay. All right. Just for shits and giggles, can you give me a Dex plus Ride roll, please?
Yes, I can.
For my own amusement, if nothing else.
Well, because Liam does have a bad habit of falling off shit.
Yeah, Liam often does gravity checks.
Ooh, why can't I roll this well all the friggin' time? Oh, well, that cancels that out. 4 successes.
Okay, yeah, you are able to do it with and Harry just says, "Ah!" as he kind of is being pulled. He's trying to keep himself straight. Well, bye. But and you reach down and taste it. Okay, the best I can describe it, you know what blood tastes like. You've now spent years as a vampire. This is the LaCroix of blood. This is someone whispered.
Wow.
This is someone whispered blood from like 2 rooms away, and it tastes like that kind of thing. Someone described blood to you. It has almost, the best way I can put it is it has the memory of blood.
It's not good. It's just not bad. Like, I wouldn't want it. It's just like if it was between this and death, fine, but that's kind of about it.
Not as good as your wine cellar?
No. I mean, do I get any sustenance off of it?
No.
Oh, it's kind of all I got right now.
Okay. Okay.
Because Henry's the one moving the horse, not me.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Top of the round.
So then
That brings us back to
Me.
Walter.
I have an immediate question, and if
Yes.
I need to roll, then I understand. I have been jarred by the wagon rolling forward, the carriage, and I now want to look at the shades that are next to me, the two, I guess, one or the other. And did their shift gaze did their gaze shift to
You
follow
mouth
us at
words
all?
pretty. Okay. I'll say I won't even make you roll for perception for that. Yes, it did. As the carriage moved forward, the bodies turned. At least the ones that were like on the sides and stuff like that turned with the movement of the carriage.
Are they looking at the carriage and like not at like say
Okay.
me
So
Awaya?
I will say anything more that if you want to stare more intently on that, that's going to be your turn because you're studying them, and it would be a perception alertness diff 7 because again they don't have eyeballs, so you're trying to just get the
All right.
where the whole face is focusing on.
I think that kind of is all right. That tells me what I need to know. That they're tracking us. It really is like our
How about
movement
this?
they react to. That's good.
Okay. Go ahead, and what would you like to do with your turn besides just thinking about that?
Yeah. Well, we're supposed to follow the brothers' cries. We're in the cries, y'all. There's supposed to be light in the darkness. There's supposed to be light. Didn't we douse all the light? And nothing happened, so we kind of need this light.
No. Something happened. The screams got louder, but then we turned the light back on.
This ain't feeling like we're finding the light. With that kind of panicked out. I can see Asmodeus back there. Who's the black spot? Sonoy?
Oh yeah,
Sonoy
that's Sonoy. Sorry,
outside?
Sonoy's still inside. He didn't move.
Okay, right. Okay, thanks. That's fine. Sonoy's fine. Probably. DP to transform. Oh, Jesus. I'm gonna dismount, walk up to the shade that's next to Liam and Henry, left of them. And I guess this is me experimenting. So
Okay.
you know, I'm trying to observe while I do this. If it's 2 rolls, maybe if you'll allow it, then let me know. But I'm gonna kind of walk up to it and see if it marks me walking up to it first. And regardless of whether it does or not, unless it does something crazy when I get near it, I'm going to like pass my hand in front of and then through its kind of mass area,
Okay.
massless center area.
So first, I'll let you make a perception plus alertness roll just for the trying because you said you want to try and clock what they're doing.
Yes, please. That roll is a. Did you say diff 7 on that?
Yes.
Okay, I have 3 successes.
Okay. You notice that as they haven't had a chance to go yet, but as most of them are focused on the carriage, but as Liam and Henry ride by, they seem to be tracking the horse, like the one closest.
Oh, like they're not. This one is not looking up at our 2 friends. It's like kind of looking straight ahead.
I'll tell you what. Give me a straight wits roll.
Okay. We have 1 success.
They didn't seem to track your approach, almost like they can't see you. But so far, what they've been tracking is the carriage and the horses. With one success, make what you will of that, of whatever commonalities you Wea would form.
I don't think this thing sees me. Say that loud.
However, you put your fist through it.
An open palm.
It's like pushing through frigid ballistic gel, like not quite that thick, but like gelatin, as it is like plunging your hand. And here's the thing: the cold doesn't really affect you guys anymore, like just natural, like weather cold.
The cold never bothered me anyway.
Thank you, Elsa. But this is like doing a polar bear swim. Like it is throwing your arm into an ice bucket. And I need you to make a willpower roll, please.
Don't like that.
Ooh, okay. Standard diff.
Okay. Are you kidding? Oh, okay. Well, this might not be that bad, but we'll see. It might be. I have 2 successes.
Okay. They win. They rolled a 3. They rolled a 9 and a 10, and the 10 re-rolled into an 8.
Well, I rolled some 1s, so.
Yeah.
there you go.
You temporarily, and you can mark it on your sheet, lose a stamina point.
Whew.
Now, mechanically, I know we haven't played a lot with stamina. For the players, if your stamina drops down to 0, you're catatonic. It's not quite torpor, but at the same time, you do not have the energy to move, do anything. You are dead weight. You are just staring off. You're still kind of conscious, but you're not really reacting or paying attention to anything.
Lovely.
As its head with a snap focuses back, as it was kind of looking past at the horse and kind of reaching towards it, and
Yeah, no shit. I got your attention now, huh? Don't touch these. I don't feel right. I'm gonna
and I will
back
also
up.
say, can you make a strength roll for me, please?
Okay. I can do that. It's just straight strength.
Yes. Or, however you're so inclined, strength.
You know. A lot of 2s. Some more dead numbers. I got 3 successes. Depending on. No, I just got 3.
Okay. Let's see. Tie goes to the defender. It when you reach in and you have it, you're about like midway in, its hands clamp onto you, onto your arm, and it's trying to grapple you and hold you there, as it seems to be feeding off of something in you, some energy. But you break free of it. And again, it's like ripping your hand out of gelatin as it tried to latch on and hold on. And it is now very aware. As soon as the contact is gone, it's almost like it loses you again. It's kind of like search around, but it's close enough where it's kind of grasping in the dark.
Shit, this thing does like us, and I feel weaker. I'm gonna back up to the carriage, and if I have the movement to climb into the bench, which I would hope. I
Yeah,
do,
you
'cause I have a
definitely do.
bunch.
You sit there and could probably do laps around this map with how much movement you have. So
That's my turn. That's it. That's my excursion. I learned and I regret all of it. Let's go.
this one's gonna go for these.
That is going on Walter's tombstone. I learned
Right.
and I regret all of it.
Yep. Okay, it is now the Shade's turn. This one is turning for horse. This one is turning for the horses that are in front of the carriage. This one is going for the carriage. Walter, one last time, just by the end of your turn, I'll let you have one more perception plus alertness roll, please.
Okay. Rolling. Doggies rolling. Ooh, this might. Okay. Well, it's less okay now. It's a 1. I lied. It's a
Success?
2. It's a 2.
2 successes. Okay. Even in the darkness and in the little bit of light that's on the edge of the light that the carriage is producing, you notice that after it touched you and seemed to suck something from you, where it was mostly transparent from the waist down, it becomes a little bit more visible as it kind of almost like seems to pour down a little bit, and you can now see to about the hips.
But Liam, Henry, that one took something. It's more real. So I shout.
Yeah, so that's fair. Okay, Liam, because you're on with Henry, I'm gonna have you go ahead and would you like to assist in a dodge roll for a Dex plus ride?
Sure.
In this way, it's going to be dodge in that sense. And then I'll say Wea and Walter, you can each make a Dex plus ride for the horses since you're kind of there. Wea, you're kind of talking to the horses, and Walter, you're kind of controlling the reins. And let me roll for Zagostes.
You said for Wea and me, it's
Yes.
Dex plus ride.
Yes. Ooh, that's not great. Liam, how'd you do?
Oh, I thought I was just decreasing the difficulty. I didn't know I was actually rolling.
Yes.
Having this dice penalty is such a bitch. Good ride, Liam. Just to confirm, this is not like a sudden dodge, is it?
No, it's more of controlling the horses. The horses are the ones dodging. Your successes are helping them. 3.
So no lightning reflexes, I'm guessing.
I got 4.
Okay.
Or
Okay. This one here goes to make a grab at the haunches of Henry's horse, but they're not fast and they miss. This one here does the same thing to go for the horses, and you guys are able to pull the horses away. You're still talking to them, and they're able to almost kind of sidestep a bit and miss the grab. These are getting closer to the carriage. That is the Shade's turn. Sonoy's up.
Sonoy's gonna stay in the in the carriage. He's not gonna go outside.
Okay, holding his action again.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
just waiting.
The inevitable fate of all animal companions.
Oh yes.
Atris, you're up.
All right, now that there's a shade that's approaching the carriage and it's literally right behind her, she's gonna just try to swing her sword through him.
Okay. Go ahead and make your attack roll, please.
Three successes.
Okay. Damage +2.
Four.
Okay. You swing through, and you definitely feel some resistance. Almost none. It's mostly swinging through air, but you do feel something, almost like if you're trying to swing your sword through a strong wind that's blowing in the opposite direction. It's that little bit of resistance, and it definitely seems to react and kind of like almost blindly swipes to its left towards you. But it doesn't seem to have the same effect as like if you were like attacking a flesh and blood person. When you guys were attacking like even the other spectral entities, there were at least bones in the mix. This it does not seem to have much of anything to purchase on, but it did seem to have some effect on it. Just not as much as you would normally expect if it was a flesh and blood target.
And does she notice if it's still approaching the carriage or is it stopped?
At this point, I'll say perception alertness.
Five.
With 5 successes, it seems kind of torn. It's definitely what it wants is to get towards the carriage. Like it seems to be that's what it's still kind of interested in. But out of self-preservation, its focus is kind of split between the carriage and whatever just hit it to the side. Okay. So it seems kind of stumped at the moment of what to do. All right, so that is Itris's turn. It is Asmodeus's turn. He's going to try and get past this tree that's still, well, don't leave me here, and he's going to try and get back up on the carriage. So he's going to have to try and dodge. Yeah, he does it, and he gets back on the carriage. Well, if we're leaving, we're leaving. But he is going to sit there and take, seeing that this one up ahead did make an attack on Walter, he's going to sit there and fire a pistol at it. Lots of successes. Okay. The bullet goes through the thing, and once again, slightly distracted from reaching for the horse, it and turns around, but seemingly even less effect than the sword had. But it paid attention to it, so they're reacting.
Did notice it.
They're reacting to being hit. It is now the tree's turn. Yeah, this one's, let's see, Atris is now here. I need both I need Atris and Noah to go ahead and make a dodge roll for me, please.
Next die. 2, 3. Oh, okay. 3 successes.
Tie goes to the defender. A branch swings out for you and swing and a miss. And Noah, how many successes? 4. Yeah. One of the roots tries to snake out and wrap around you to try and hold you, and you see it and jump off to the side. It just clutching snow and air and missing you. Okay, that's the tree's turn. Wea, you're up.
I'm gonna look at Walter because he's still next to me, and I'm gonna say, do you think they're looking at the light? Do you think we need to take the light out there to them? Or are we just gonna ride through this?
I saw that one looking at Liam's horse, Henry's horse, and the other ones ain't. That it looked at me when I got near it, when I touched it. I don't know. We're supposed to find the light in the darkness, right?
Is the lantern or the lantern on the outside of our carriage lit right now, or
Yes,
we relit it?
you have 4 of them. There are 2 hanging towards the front and 2 hanging towards the back.
The only one that we relit was the one that Noah had that when he was checking the tire.
Yeah.
Okay,
there
so
should
that
be
would
one lit.
so that would be the back right one then.
One closest to Atris, I believe.
Yes. What are you doing, Leia?
Can I? Well, it's not like I can use it to light the others, can I?
You can turn on the others
Yeah.
by like
Yeah,
just
I'm gonna do that.
activating them.
I'm gonna turn on the other lanterns.
Okay. You use that, and again, I'm not gonna make you guys roll for like frenzy checks when it's small controlled flame like this. It's the 1800s. You kind of need it for light. You've gotten used to it, kind of thing. Anything smaller than a campfire or a controlled flame, unless someone is literally brandishing it at you like a weapon, you're fine. You light the others, and all of their heads turn towards the carriage, and they're reaching out to it with both hands.
Think they are
Bad
now.
idea.
Okay, I'll put it out. That seems creepy and scary.
I would say, did you burn a celerity?
No, I did not.
Okay, so you spent your turn because you were having to crawl across the carriage, lighting each of these things. I'm going to say that's your turn. As they all just look at the carriage and
No, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
Bad day, bad day, bad day.
Yeah.
All right, Noah, you're up.
While it's still pumped, I'm just gonna keep pushing.
Okay. Go ahead and make another strength roll. I'd say difficulty is 7 this time rather than 8. You're no longer hooked onto the root, but it's still forcefully trying to basically. You're the equivalent of that guy that was pushing another car with the front of his bumper, kind of thing.
I got 3 on this one.
Yeah, the carriage lurches ahead again, pushing it towards these other shades. And the horses getting very scared now, getting closer to these things.
They're getting away from other ones. Surely this is a win-win. Lose
Totally. All
situation.
right. It is Henry's turn. Okay. Henry's gonna say, well, he's on the horse and he's fuck, what can he do? Nope, that was bad. Yeah, he said he has his gun out and he aims at the one that's closest to his horse, makes a shot, and this you actually see the barrel of the gun with the inscription that's twisting around the barrel light up. Liam, you're closest, and from this angle I would say also Wea and Walter, I'll let you three go ahead and make a perception plus alertness roll. Difficulty 7 because it's mid-combat. The others, you're kind of the carriage is kind of blocking your line of sight to Henry.
Says "Burn, motherfucker" all over the barrel.
Right?
3 successes.
See 7.
3 successes,
two.
Wea.
Yes.
2
3.
successes for Walter. 4 successes. Okay, yeah. You all notice this. You've seen Henry use his enchanted pistols before, and normally they glow with a warm yellow, almost kind of white light to it, but it's a very warm light. This seems cold. This is a bluish purple almost that they start glowing with, and he shoots into the center of mass of this thing, and you see a hole blow into it and then slowly try to start sealing it as the thing gets knocked back from the impact, and it seems like the enchanted weapon is definitely having a poignant effect on this thing as its form kind of flickers, and what little solidity it seemed to gain from touching Walter seems to kind of drain out of it a little bit more.
Is anyone who this ghost getting aroused?
Yes. Okay, that was his turn. Next up is PETA. PETA is going to go ahead and try and attack this one. So let's see, he's now in that form. So, ooh, that's much more dice. Okay. He makes a bite on it, and you kind of see similar to Atris, your attack on these. Something makes purchase. However, he is now also making physical contact with it, so he needs to make a willpower roll. It. Yeah, it definitely seems to react as he chomps down these giant, massive jaws, clamping down on its torso. But as he does so, you see the wolf form shudder, and you see this one now fill in a little bit more with, it seems to has sucked something from PETA in his wolf form.
Does Liam see this since it's kind of happening on his right?
I'll say yes.
Okay.
So that was PETA's turn. Actually, He, in this form, gets essentially celerity, so he gets to go again.
Well, he just got automatic celerity.
And he bites down on it again, this time like growling and kind of like tossing it like a ragdoll a little bit. Like, and you hear the almost sounding like the snapping of ice or bone as he's trying to just shake it a bit. It seems to be affecting it, but as soon as he seems to have it where it kind of shifts it one way or the other, his jaws almost kind of like go through it, and he loses purchase on it. This time, however, he seems to shake as it's trying to hold on to the snout. It seems to not. He seems to shake off the effect the second time around, where it doesn't drain more out of him. Liam, it is your turn.
Okay, so based on what I saw Henry's bullets do, based on what Walter yelled out, and based on what I just saw with PETA, did I see the shades looking towards the carriage when all the torches went up?
Yeah, it was very noticeable that they all like were very attracted to that reaction.
Okay, can I like just push, like kick the horse a little bit with my heels just to kind of like nudge it forward a little bit?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, everyone, I understand what you're doing, but I think the first idea was right. I think we need to snuff out the lights again. I think they need to touch something living or something solid to get corporeal form, so we might just want to push forward as best and as carefully as we can. Asmodeus, stop shooting shit!
It's what I'm here to do!
Okay, you know what? Yes. Jump in the back behind everyone and you keep shooting, we'll keep moving.
Okay. Liam, are you doing anything else with your turn?
I don't think there's much that I can do.
Let's see.
Yeah, because I don't. I mean, can I do an occult check? I really don't have much anyways.
Absolutely. You're more than welcome to do that if you want to try and like rack your brain for anything that you've come across or anything that you've heard about. This would be if you want to see, this would be kind of you can either make an int plus occult for like trying to see if you've heard any more or anything about it, or wits plus occult to just from your personal experiences and from what you're personally observing, trying to suss out what's going on.
Okay, I'm gonna do wits.
Okay.
And before I roll, I am going to spend 1 willpower.
Okay, go for it. And how many, so I know, how many dots in occult do you have?
Just 1.
Okay, so much like with Atris, this is going to be diff 7 just because this isn't in your wheelhouse.
Well, then I got 1 7 and then 1 willpower, so I got 2.
Okay, 2 successes. I am going to send you a whisper.
Whisper.
A whisper. A whisper.
Whisper. How was that plan?
I'm whispering. I still love the one time that Sean was gonna whisper to Miranda. I'm like, she's right there, just mute yourself.
Right? Whatever, I was trying to be fair to everybody.
And then she unmutes and then we just hear it anyway. That didn't happen, by the way. I was reading about Wild Bill Hickok because that dude lives alive during this time that we're in. And Wikipedia has summed up the entirety of who one of his cohorts was, Jack McCall.
Mhm.
Or rather the guy who shot him or whatever. His entire career is summed up as an unsuccessful gambler.
Nice.
He's immortalized on Wikipedia with just this description.
Yeah.
That's the gambler.
Okay,
Yeah.
and
Wild Bill is kind of in his heyday right now.
I'm just gonna kind of like, because Henry's the closest one to me that I think would have any additional information that, or like triggering information.
Mhm.
And I'm just gonna tell us like, whatever they are, I think that they specifically are attracted to heat, either body heat or fire. And with that thought in mind, my ring is neither.
Correct.
So I'm gonna push a willpower into my ring, and I'm going to light up the forest.
Okay.
Light it up.
You guys see as a soft glow of almost like moonlight starts to emanate from where Liam is up ahead.
But I'm gonna yell, just like, turn off the fire.
Okay.
All right. With that, Walter, you're up.
I turn off the fire.
Okay, so you're going to spend your turn going around and turning off the lanterns. Yes.
As long as I can pass these reins to Wea, then do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Wea goes over to the driver's seat. I'll say you spend your action snuffing out the light.
Sorry to undo your work, brother.
Fine.
With all the light gone, other than the glowing of Liam's, they all just kind of sit there and they look where before they almost, it's hard to see from a corpse of seeming hopeful, but when that disappears, these ones here that are nowhere near where the heat where a living thing or anything in the wind just got and almost like blow away like tufts of snow. As you just see, and they reach out and they just kind of, their form gets blown away as it almost like turns into like snow particles and just kind of dissipates. Okay, that was Walter's turn. The Shades. This one is going to try and go for PETA, who is been trying to chomp down on it. This one is going to try and go for the horse that
Henry and Liam are on.
Yes, thank you. Apparently my brain was on a loop. This one is actually far enough away where this one's actually gone too. This one is ignoring Atris, who's not in physical contact with it anymore, and it is going to try and it senses something inside the carriage, so it's going to try and go here, as is this one here. As you see it, actually, these two actually approach the carriage and start to push through, and you see their hands and wrists actually sinking inside the carriage, Atris and Noah.
This gives me Majora's Mask flashbacks.
Yes. Okay, so PETA needs to try and dodge, which isn't too hard in this form because he gets a shit ton of dex bonuses in this form. Yeah, he dodges that just fine. Liam, go ahead and give me another dex plus animal can for your horse.
Stupid ones.
+2. Okay, let's see how. Luckily, these things are not super dexterous yet.
Uh,
All right, it comes down to the reroll of the 10. No, that was a 1 from a 10 to a 1. So yeah, the horse dodges as it reaches out. You notice that when it lost the corporealness that it had gained by touching Walter, they seem to become slower. It became a little bit more quicker when it had gained a corporeal form a little bit more, but it had lost that. You do hear loud growling and like wolf. Sonoy does not seem happy with what's happening in what he's seeing inside the carriage. It is now that was the Shade's turn. Sonoy.
You will look through the window and growl.
Yeah. So Sonoy, I will say this who is controlling well, I'll say this Chad who's controlling Sonoy. Sonoy sees as these 2 sets of hands from the back right corner of the carriage push through it and are making grasping motions trying to get to Sonoy and Bartleby.
He's gonna like chomp in midair like he's chasing like a bug.
Okay, so you're gonna try and bite them?
Sure. I didn't know that really an option. I don't think it's gonna work, but
I mean, I'm just asking, what would Sonoy try and do in this case?
probably that.
The hands are within biting range.
He would definitely bite them.
Okay, make a bite attack, please.
Okay. Three successes.
Okay, damage +2, please.
Which is 4, so 6. 1, 2, 3, 4 successes for damage. 4 damage.
Reduce to half, so that's 2 successes on damage. As Sonoy chomps down on the wrists of one of these things, it's like dragging his teeth through gelatin. And he feels ice cold, like chomping down on ice. I need Sonoy to make a willpower roll, please.
Zero successes.
He loses a point of temporarily loses a point of stamina as something is drained from the life force of Sonoy into this creature. As Noah and Atris, you see as one of these creatures starts to fill in. Again, at this point, you can see down to just about where its hips are. A little undead ghost booty has just appeared on one of them. All right, that is Sonoy's turn. Atris, you are up.
All right. Well, Atris would like to leap onto the top of the carriage because I think this is going to be the only way to, one, get off the ground and two, be in position to attack both at the same time. Before she does that, she want to burn a point for celerity.
Okay.
And then
go ahead and make it Dex plus athletics. It's not going to be one of your turns. Just if you're jumping on top of the carriage and ducking and weaving around these things and.
3 successes.
As you go to move, a tree root that you didn't even see, kind of working its way through the snow, goes to make a grab for you, and you dodge out of the way just in time to not get caught by it as you jump onto the carriage. Okay, so what do you do when you're up? That wasn't one of your celerity actions. It was just, I wanted to see what happened.
All right, and she, knowing that the ghosts will kind of react to at least her sword swinging through them, she wants to make an attack roll on each of them to try to stop them from entering the carriage.
Okay, go ahead and make an attack roll on both.
Two, three. Three three successes for the first one.
Okay, and do the attack roll for the second one, please.
Three.
Three successes. Okay. So it's 3 and 3. So go ahead and roll damage +2 and damage +2.
First one was only a 1.
Okay.
Second one is 3.
Okay. The first one, it cuts through, but it almost doesn't react to it. It's just cold steel going through this entity, and it just doesn't seem to find the effect that you were hoping for. It vaguely notices it, but it's much more, it's got its hands towards something that it wants far more, and with the steel causing no heat whatsoever. The other attack, though, you seem to hit that center of gelatin mass a little bit more with its essence, and it does, and that distracts this one enough that as the carriage is moving forward, it actually kind of gets left behind, because like trying to grab something in the darkness, it's now trying to reach around what's near it to try and attack back as it's blindly grabbing. So that's Atrus's turn. Next is Asmodeus, who is going to, he was told to stop shooting. Let's see if he actually listens. Liam, you were the one that told him to stop shooting, correct?
Yes, and then got sarcastic with him, saying, "Fine, stay behind, keep shooting."
Go ahead and make a charisma plus leadership roll for me, please.
I have each of those things.
And we're going to do that against Asmodeus and see if he gives two shits about what your opinion is.
Five.
Yeah. Surprisingly, he sits there and you can see he's about to pull the trigger, and he just, and those of you who are all nearby, which is pretty much all of you at this point, you just hear him mumbling to himself, "I'm just saying, perfectly good gun just sitting here not being shot. I mean, I don't see being here is." And he's just begrudgingly complaining to himself. All right, so that was Asmodeus is holding his action until an opportunity or something for him to shoot at. He's really eyeing the trees a lot more than anything else as a, well, I know those reacted to being shot, so he's kind of focusing on them. Speaking of trees, you notice as the trees, the roots are churning in the dirt, more of this red is coming up. But none of them are quite in the range where the carriage currently is to do anything. So they're kind of just stuck in place. However, without the heat, without the lights, you notice that their movement too seems slowed, more rigid. It seems to be more effort for them to continue to will themselves to move. And the faces that you thought you saw on the trunks become less defined, less noticeable, more tree-like than face-like. To the point where in the dim glow of Liam's ring, you could, if you didn't know better, you could almost convince yourself that it's just a trick of your eyes and there's not really a face there. Wea, you're up.
Is there anything I can attack within my range?
I mean, if you got off the carriage, there's the one shade over here, the other shade over here, and you have a pretty good decent amount of movement too. You could pretty much, I'm pretty sure you could get to like any of these trees or any of these shades if you really wanted to, but you'd have to get off the carriage and move.
For the record, I would have come back to the bench after turning off after snuffing the final.
Oh,
lantern.
how are the horses doing as well?
Oh, they're less freaked, but still wanting to get the fuck out of there. What's your movement, Walter? Because you were
I
saying.
mean, Wea did the same thing and came back, but my movement's 8 squares.
Yeah, I'll say if you ran around on top and then like leaned over to extinguish them,
yeah.
I'd say that you could do. And so, are you
I'm
still
way
letting
more
Wea,
comfortable up there.
Are you
than-
letting Wea drive, or are you taking the reins back?
That's up to Wea.
Well, if he's in the seat, are you in the seat with me?
He would have
Yes.
come back to the seat.
Okay.
Would you have relinquished the reins?
I'm
or took a hold?
I'm gonna pull out the Thunderhawk Tomahawk, and then
Okay.
I'm gonna look at Walter and say, "This weapon is enchanted by Josephine. I think it'll do a good amount of damage on these shades. You hold the reins for a moment, and then I'm gonna run and I'm gonna jump off the bench and attack a shade."
Okay. Which one are you attacking?
What are my options?
There's the one that's harassing the horse that Henry and
That
Liam
one.
are on, and
That
there's
one.
one that's currently in combat with PETA.
The one that's harassing
PETA's
that left one
fine.
there, that's the one that drained Walter.
True.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
so
gonna go
first I
after
need you
that.
to make a Dex plus Athletics roll for me, please.
Hell yeah, we're doing it. That's a D20. Why did I roll it?
I don't know. You're playing the wrong game.
That's also a D8. What the hell's going on?
You only get to roll D20s if you're playing as Kane in this game. Kane rolls a nat 20.
8 successes.
Okay, yeah, okay, no, you in cool like slow-mo action movie status, you sit there and jump up and bring the tomahawk down. Go ahead and make your attack roll, please.
One success.
Okay, then go ahead and roll damage.
Oh, well, technically 2 because of the +1. I know it means 1 dice. My bad. Nope, never mind.
Okay.
Ignore what I'm saying.
Okay, I often do.
Yes.
Terrible.
Well, 2 points of lethal damage.
Yeah. There is, as you guys look with the lights extinguished, except for Liam's ring, there is a spark that's almost kind of like a little bit more than like a static shock, but it's that little bit of like a little arc of some kind of energy as Wea brings down this axe and you feel it make purchase. Wea, to you, this feels like cutting through flesh and bone. Like you feel the resistance as it cuts in to the shoulder and the thing reacts.
I don't think it liked it.
As you're now over here. And
It
it's
worked.
definitely... Wait, no, you're not Henry or Walter. You're not any of those people. Okay. All right, that was Wade's turn. Noah, you're up.
Seeing how pushing isn't getting me very far, I'm gonna run around to the front,
Okay.
and I'm gonna try to coax the horses forward.
Okay. Are you going to get on, or are you just like getting alongside them?
I'm getting alongside them. I'm talking to them. I'm trying to look in their eyes.
Are you going around the right side or the left side of the carriage?
Around the right side.
Okay. You see, as you're running alongside, you see two shades with their, well, actually, you see one with its hands inside the carriage. The other is blindly grasping around it as you see Atris on top of it wielding her blade, and you see a giant dire wolf snarling and facing down another one that's trying to hold on to it as you come running along. What's your movement speed?
33 feet, 7 squares.
Oh yeah. So you see all this, and again, they don't seem, none of the shades or anything seem to even clock you as you are.
Yeah, I don't clock them.
Oh, good. All right, so you go up to the horses. How are you? What are you gonna do to encourage them to giddy up?
I'm gonna Feral Whispers. I'm gonna look them dead in the eye and be like, "You know, I know, you know. We both gotta get out of here."
Okay, go ahead and make your roll for Feral Whispers.
It's not a command. I'm just trying to communicate with them.
Okay, yeah. Are you talking horse or are you talking?
I'm looking dead in their eye, and I don't know horse. Technically, I don't know many languages.
Technically, actually, yes, you do. With Feral Whispers, you know every animal language. So it's a
Really?
lower, it's as it's written, I believe it's a lower DC if you're like speaking in the animal's native tongue.
Oh,
I just
didn't
want
get
to
that
hear
footnote.
Noah
I
speak
want that.
chinchilla.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It sounded like.
Okay,
Keep going.
so Noah
What he
starts
said.
motorboating the horses.
Do the horses motorboat back though?
I am Mr. Ed. So yeah, okay. So you're speaking to them, and the horses are in full agreement with you. They are all like, "Yeah, like fuck this place. Like, let's get the hell out of here. You guys are fucking crazy for bringing us here." I will say, any attempt, thanks to Noah, any attempt to command the horses to go is now at a -1 difficulty. For the duration of the rest of this scene. It wasn't hard to convince them. This is what they wanted to do anyway. So, the only thing that has stopped them from just bolting is you guys like calming them down enough that they're not just letting fear take over.
We're just buttering the toast.
Exactly. All right, that was Noah's turn. One of the ghoul horses, I'm sorry, your accent is atrocious.
Were you born in a barn?
Right.
Sir, I say nay.
For them, it'd be more like, were you not born in a barn? Like,
You
Right.
seem unstable.
right.
Oh, please.
Hey.
Whoa, hey.
Say nay to all of you.
All right, time to flip it. So anyway, all right, so PETA is going to keep on trying to attack this thing to distract it from attacking you guys. So here he goes again.
It's okay. The other day I asked my dad, what do you call a Mexican pony? He's like, what? Like a lowrider.
Okay.
All right, not bad. He's chomping down on it again. They keep dragging through it, and it's old. And let's see if he. Ty goes to the defender, so he once again avoids getting more life force drained from him. He gets to attack again. Okay, that's a lot better. So let's see. Okay. Oops. It would help if the dice didn't mix. Oof. Okay, no. So he does not avoid it a second time, however, as he does chomp down, and the thing seems to be cracking and flickering, and you're noticing that seeming to. It looks like it's affecting it. Like he's just sitting there biting this thing, but he can't grab purchase on it because it's not really fully corporeal. But however, it does seem to hold on and pull something from him again, and you see him stagger as now the shade's form fills down to its knees.
Yeah, fuck you, Shade.
Man, they're just throwing some shade. All right, I skipped Henry.
Henry goes right before me anyways, so
yeah. So Henry's gonna see that he's gonna see that Wea's fighting this thing, and he's gonna sit there and take another shot at it. MU1's 3, 6. So that's 5 without rerolls. Still 5. So 5 successes. Yeah. Way up from over your head, over your shoulder, you hear another pistol go off as again, you can almost see it ripple in the form as it blows another hole in this thing, and it's slowly trying to like reform, but it looks the one that you're currently fighting, Whale, looks like it's barely holding on to being on this mortal plane.
Excellent.
As it just that's hard on the throat. Okay. All right. Peter went, Henry went, Liam, you're up.
and much like He-Man and Masters of the Universe, Liam just goes, I have an idea.
That's not the words. What do you got?
Walter, you ever been fishing?
Yeah, some.
Yeah, we need a lure. Someone's gonna have to take one of these lanterns and stick it in the middle of the woods and light it up and run away.
What if we do the running away? Why the hell are we still here?
Oh, no. I want us to move. I just want us to set a lure away from us.
We're faster than them.
Liam, are you doing anything else?
I'm gonna like kick Henry's horse a bit and like punch him forward.
Yeah,
I want away from that damn thing.
Yeah, I'll say it definitely pulling way ahead of. It's on a full gallop. The horse is like, nah, fuck this, and it's going.
Does Henry have a like a little lantern on his horse?
No.
Okay, so he doesn't have anything with him.
No, but your ring is lit up, so the light. So as you guys notice, as the light source now is starting to get further away, but you can see it up ahead.
I'm gonna look around. Like, do the shades or anything noted like start tracking me?
No. You're aware of the fact that given the enchantment that was put on your ring, it doesn't produce any heat. It is purely a source of light. So they seem completely blind to you, and those that probably would have tracked Henry and the horse are kind of currently engaged in combat right now. Anything else?
I said what I said. I'm gonna hold here.
Okay, cool. Back up to Walter.
Here's the thing, I can't let go of these reins, so I drive the horses
Okay.
forward.
Are you going for like slow, fat, medium, fast? How hard are you trying to drive these things?
The fuck away.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a manipulation plus animal chem.
To be specific, we're going toward the light that Liam is emanating.
Yes, I figured you were following
And we're
that.
trying to, like, trying it to direct them to where they're not just gonna run into something. That's all I mean. Alright,
But you get a -1 difficulty on this.
Correct.
is it,
So it's only diff 5.
is it,
Oh fuck.
oh, hey, is it Dex Riot? Is it manipulate, is, what is this?
This would be manipulation animal chem, because you're driving the horse, not really riding the horse.
Okay. Oh, ho, boy. Sure, I got 4 successes.
Yeah, no. I'll say Noah, give me a quick Dex plus athletics. And Atris, give me a Dex plus athletics too.
Yeah. Two, three.
I got 3.
Okay. So then you're good. And how much was it, Noah?
I got 3.
Perfect. Noah, you and PETA jump out of the way as the horses come barreling through. And Atris, you're able to hold on to the top of the carriage as it lurches, and you don't go tipping over the backside of it. As
He said backside.
as it goes charging forward. Here. So you guys are here. And
With that dex roll, would I be able to grab on instead of trying to jump back?
sure, I'll say with 3 successes, absolutely. You grab onto the side of it where there's the little handle for the door and the little step up, and you grab that as it comes charging by. Sonoy's in here. He's riding there. Okay. Which means that the one that did have its hands in the carriage whips out and it is left behind, not able to go.
I just imagine it was touching Bartleby's hair, and now that's frozen.
Right. He's having very cold dreams. Okay, so that's Walter's turn. Is the Shade's turn. This one's going to try and go for Wea. This one's going to try and go for PETA. These two being so far away, you look back, especially Atris and Noah, as you're looking back. And once again, the wind blows and they just kind of, like a soft pile of snow, get blown out of existence. Okay. Wea, go ahead and give me a dodge roll, please. Oh no.
Oh no. It's okay. We don't need the bastard prince anyways.
Five successes.
Yeah, no, it got a double botch. So
Nice.
it tries to reach at you and you just easily sidestep it. It misses you by a mile.
Leia makes it cold. Leia gets more firm.
Oh my. But it's just one of those things of between the two shots it's taken from Henry and the attack from your tomahawk, it's pretty disoriented and it's barely holding on to existence. So this one, however, is feeling kind of strong with how it's attacking PETA. Okay, let's see. Oh, damn those ones. Yeah, it draws another point from PETA as PETA's one of his shoulders slumps down and he tries to pull himself back up, trying to stand firm. And I'll say especially Atris and Noah, because you're looking back, you see that all of a sudden its ankles and feet appear in the snow. And all of a sudden it looks up at not only at PETA, but also at the source of the other life forms that are the heat sources that are moving away. And what were its fingers elongate into almost these, where the fingers become elongated and like pointed into almost these like claws, where the hands almost turn black. You've seen frostbitten skin before, and the hands and feet, while the rest of the body is this extremely pale corpse-like entity, the jaw drops breaking as it and you see these frostbitten talons almost appear and these frostbitten feet, and it looks, if anything, more alive and more so on. You see that it's actually indenting into the snow, not just the bloody footprints, but there's actually a physical connection at this point. Okay, that was the Shade's turn. Sonoy is in the carriage.
Oh boy.
He's whimpering because he can't. He's not with Leia.
Okay. And only because no one else that's conscious is in the carriage. Otherwise, he would never let someone hear him whimper.
Yes, this is the very, very rare time he's by himself and nobody can hear it.
All right. Atris, you're up.
All right. Aegis is going to bring another point of celerity. She's going to first take Liam's fantastic suggestion, not only because she's bloodbound to him, because it's a good suggestion. She's going to light up the lantern nearest to her, and she's going to just straight up chuck it behind the carriage.
Okay. Go ahead and make a
Yeet roll.
yeet roll, please.
It's been forever. I can't remember what a yeet roll is. I know I wrote it down.
Strength and athletics.
It's the roll. It's the roll you make when you yeet something.
As far as I know, it's strength athletics.
Strength athletics.
Let's see. I'm trying to search.
I'll go wait for the DM to give me the final word because I'm just looking at my notes. Where was... Cover. God damn it. Well, that's the one thing I don't have written down.
Okay, so
It's strength athletics, and then
as
the
for
amount of
thrown
feet you
weapon,
can throw
I'm
it.
going to try a homebrew rule for it. Yeah.
Well, I've got it right here.
Yeah.
It's strength athletics, and then the amount of squares you can throw it is your points in strength.
Yeah.
I have 3 in strength.
Okay.
So you could throw it up to 15 feet.
Yep.
I mean, that's something. All right, strength athletics. Here we go. All right, 6, 6, 10, 8, 8. Damn. 10. All right, so we got 5 successes on that one.
Okay. Then yeah, you can throw it up to 15 feet. Which way you want to throw it?
Right behind the carriage.
Okay, you chuck it. And I'll say, so someone mark down just so that way you have it in your notes that
We're down 1 lantern.
you're down 1 lantern. However, you chuck it as the oil lantern on the ground. Luckily, far enough from all of you where you're not having to make frenzy checks as the flames lick up, and this one is seemingly glancing past Wea over his shoulders behind him at it. This one turns, and with a speed you hadn't seen before, goes into a full run where its movement is extremely quick, even more, as it starts running in this direction, and you just see it basically almost into the flames as it just sits there. And you notice the flames start to dim and flicker a bit as it just seems to be feeding off of the warmth of the flames.
All right. And since he's away now, H is going to use her second action to just aim at the last shade closest to Wea with a crossbow and just take a shot.
Okay. Make your shot.
Your shot.
Come on, stay in your hand. That's 4 successes.
Okay, damage +3.
Yeah, 1.
Okay. Once again, like with the 1 sword strike, it's one of those things of it definitely hits Purchase, but it almost just goes right through its head, and it notices for a brief second, but the flame and the combat with Wea seem to be focused on it way more. Okay, that's Atris. Asmodeus is holding up. Nope, he has an impatience thing, so I have to roll for that too. Every turn I have to. Nope, he succeeds, so he is holding his action, still going. He actually shouts out at PETA, "Hey, Mutt! I'd get to get it if I was you." All right, the trees. Yeah, you aren't in range of any of them, but and as you notice, again, now that the shades are starting to disappear and everything else, they're slowing down and barely, and you guys are healing the wind start to move a little bit more through the trees. And it sounds a little less like moaning, a little more just like the howling of wind. Okay, Wea, you're up.
I'm gonna get on the carriage.
All right, so you're going to disengage with this one?
Yep.
Okay. I'll say, yeah, you obviously make it. Like, go ahead and make a Dex plus Athletics just as a dodge, as it's going to try and make a blind grab at you.
Six successes.
Yeah. Unless it gets a whole bunch of 10s. Yeah, nah. It whiffs it and you get back on the carriage. Do you get back in the bench seat with Walter?
Yeah, I'll climb my way back over
Yeah,
there.
because this carriage is moving, so you have to go into a full run because now the horses are like full on peeling out of here. Noah, you're holding on to the carriage. It is your turn. Anything else you want to do?
Get inside.
Okay. Go ahead and make a Dex Athletics for me, please. Just because standard diff, but it's because the carriage is now moving at a speed and you're trying to open the door while being on the carriage.
Five.
Yeah, with a good amount of grace, you're able to hold on to the side, kind of let go with one foot and one hand, open the carriage, and then swing yourself in and close the door behind you. Sonoy seems very still on edge and agitated and growling, and almost turns to snap at you, but then realizes that you're familiar and kind of backs down. And Bartleby is still unconscious, none the wiser that any of this has transpired. Pretty
Sleeping
much.
like a baby.
Yep. But you are now successfully inside the carriage.
Now that I'm there,
Yes.
I'm gonna uncover my secret little treasure and try and wrench out one of the teeth from that skull.
Okay. Go ahead and make a strength check for me, please.
Oh,
Now, are you trying to do that? Now, let me ask you. You said wrench. Let me ask, because I don't want to be super literal here. Are you just
Okay.
going for brute force to break one off, or are you looking for a little bit of finesse and trying to get this to come out pretty?
a little bit of finesse. I'm trying to wiggle as it comes out.
So then that's
just
going
softly.
to, you get more dice, but it's going to up the difficulty. So it's manipulation. No,
X.
I'm gonna say it's going to be strength brawl.
Okay.
But your strength is currently still buffed.
But it is going to be difficulty 8 to not break it in a place where you don't want to break it. This is more of like trying to control your strength to finesse it, where you're not just ripping it out and it coming out any which way.
You're grappling with this face. This
Sorry.
skull.
I had to grab another dice.
The moment of truth.
It's about 2:30 in the morning.
You said difficulty is 8?
Yes.
I have 3 successes.
3 successes will do it. You go for one of the big canine teeth, I assume. I mean, they're all canines because it, is a lupine. But,
the big one to grab onto.
Yeah. You go and you perfectly are able to put pressure and pull so that way the full thing comes out without any damage to the main tooth. So yeah, you do the thing. And as you look at it, the thing is about yay big in size, kind of like a dinner knife in size. Yes, like this. It's about a dinner knife in size, and you do see the etchings of some kind of runic. Something is etched on it, as it is on the entire skull, but on the fang specifically.
All right, I'm gonna pocket the fang and just hide the skull again, just
Easy
as it
enough.
was a pile of clothes in the corner.
Easy enough. Okay. Technically still in no, actually I'd say at this point this one fades away now that Wea is no longer as it tries to keep up, and as you see it slowly shambling over, the hand first and then the wrist and then the torso just blows away in the wind. I will say, Liam, since you have the light, give me a perception plus alertness roll, please.
My alertness is good, but I really got to up my perception one of these days. I got 3.
Outside of, in the light, you can see what you can see, but in what's left of the moonlight, after the trees have pretty much stopped moving other than the little bit of wind that's just causing them to move like normal tree branches do, the earth has so been churned that a lot of this red has been brought to the surface. and then you notice that outside of the bubble of light that your ring produces, off to your right, there almost seems to be a light, very light. Think of it almost like a glow stick that's on the end of its lifespan, kind of thing. Like you cracked it an hour or two ago, and it's almost gone. But this crimson glow, and it almost seems to be a path that the churning of this earth has made, and you hear the wind, and the wind seems to be blowing in that same direction as the path.
I think I know where to go. I'm just going to go, and can I see those two big trees like ahead of me?
Yes.
I was like,
They're hard to
I'm
miss.
just gonna go cautiously.
And I will say, if you try and like move your hand like Green Lantern status and try and move the light over to where the path is, in the glow of the ring, the path disappears.
Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of keep my ring hand like behind me.
I mean, if you that, or if you even keep it in your pocket kind of thing, but oh no, you want to keep it behind you so people follow it.
Yes, yeah.
In doing that, again, the path then continues to lightly glow ahead of you. Again, think of it very much like if you have any kind of material that glows, whether it be those stars that they used to sell when you were kids to put up, and or stickers or whatever. If the light's already on, you can't see it glowing, but if it's off, then the glow is visible.
Follow the Dark Blood Road.
Yeah.
I was gonna kind of like lean into Henry, like, well, you're gonna have to top this on our second date, I guess.
Henry laughs and goes, I could think of a few things.
Better than Blood Path?
Well, I'm sure for your history, this would actually be. And he just chooses better not to talk. God! Somewhere off in the distance behind you guys, you do hear almost an echoing, one more that sound of this creature that seems to have at least temporarily been fed off of the life force that it drained. And you guys do notice as PETA then, slower than you would think, you've seen these dire forms of lupines and how fast they can move, and they can usually keep up with, if not outrun, a horse at a full gallop. However, he seems to be definitely struggling to keep up. And in a movement, you see as the wolf jumps and the form shifts as he you see him trying to actually keep up with his horse, his painted horse. And then as he jumps, he shifts back into human form and grabs onto the reins and barely hoists himself up and kind of slumps over it, seeming pretty drained from that experience, but letting the horse keep up and run alongside with the rest of you.
I'm gonna like not try to run super hard as soon as I figure out that we're not being
Yeah.
attacked actively.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to slow down and then listen to what Liam's saying and,
Yeah.
turn and
And at that, I will say we are out of combat.
Okay.
So the woods do continue, and you guys follow the glowing crimson path ahead of you as it winds through the forest. There's still a ominous feel about it. Go ahead. Anyone who wants to can make a perception plus awareness roll.
I'm pretty fascinated by whatever the hell this is. This ground floor.
3 successes.
Wait, what are we doing? I'm sorry, I spaced out.
Perception awareness. 3 successes, 2 successes, 4 successes, 3 successes.
6.
Damn.
Damn.
Everyone, Liam, you got 4, correct?
Mhm.
Okay. So Atris, Noah, and Walter, you definitely feel it. There's something, the air is heavy in this forest. Like there's definitely, again, you feel a little bit of that cold that you don't feel from just weather. There's something uncomfortable. And while the horses are moving at a decent gallop rather than a full-on sprint, you're moving with haste, but you're also trying to move cautiously because there are still natural tree roots. This is a path through the woods. This is not a paved, beaten road that is allowing you to just go up. So there are times where you're having to kind of wrap around and move, and the spokes of the wagon wheels, it's kind of a shaky ride for those that are riding on the wagon, and you're trying not to go too hard where the fall down from either incline or a root would cause damage to the carriage. Henry kind of looks back and he goes, he says to Liam, I think I can repair. The damage seems to be mostly superficial and it wasn't to anything too strong. I think I can repair it when we break for the day.
Also, since I figured out a good way out of that, do I get a willpower back for being gallant?
What's the thing for gallant?
It's weird because it says I have to basically impress someone with my gallantry.
Are you impressed by Liam's thinking?
I would say Atris was partially. I know she's bloodbound, but she did pragmatically think that was a good idea.
Cool.
I
Then
was impressed that anyone else wanted to leave other than me.
And I'll say Henry seems impressive of the quick wit. He always enjoys intellect. So yeah, I'll say you get the willpower back. So that's what the 3 of you notice. Liam and Wea. Wea, you've kind of had some practice with the occult and the realm of spirits and things like that. You were raised with that kind of thinking and knowledge and information. And Liam, you've just been experiencing a lot of this, more so in the last year than you have in your entire unlife. Just a lot more of, going from, oh crap, ghosts are real, to, oh crap, there are different kinds of ghosts. On the wind, again, it's not as bad as it was before. It seems distant. It just seems ever present. You can understand why the lupines don't like coming through here. You stopped that group of them, but you get the idea that that's not all of them. Like, you get the idea that you can almost sense the combination of sadness, frustration, pain, fear, anger.
It's like Christmas.
Yes. And you get the idea in playing 1-on-1 together with what PETA told you. These were most likely the spirits of the fallen warriors and the conflict in here of people that lost their lives and just weren't able to let go, weren't able to move on, and just are lost in the woods, both literally and figuratively, and looking for any kind of light or heat or something to make them, in the same way that you as vampires feed, because in that moment of feeding, it's the closest thing to feeling alive and remembering what it's like to be alive. You get an idea that while you feed on blood, or if you get the chance, vitae, this was a feeding on life energy. This was a feeding on essence. And while you guys are not alive, you get the idea that those that were trying to pull stuff from you guys is just the essence of whatever it is that keeps your dead corpse moving. They were trying to pull that into themselves and get a little bit of that existence or life for themselves. And there's definitely a hunger and sadness and anger in these woods, and it's hard to feel comfortable. You get the idea that you're not in immediate danger, but it's hard to feel comfortable in these woods.
These spirits were just trying to be whole, just looking for something to make them feel alive.
I think they were looking for our people and animals to make them feel alive. I don't know if they were going to get there. It hasn't worked for us.
We
Seems
would
like
be-
anything around here just wants to kill us, or at least died here.
we would be the equivalent of their blood bags, or our blood bags to them. An outlook and way of thinking.
You hear Asmodeus go, "Hey, I can appreciate being on the food chain, but I think if they try that again, they're going to bite off a little bit more than they can chew."
There's something to think about.
All I want to think about is getting the hell out of here.
I agree.
Same here.
Okay. You guys continue to follow path. Is there anything else you want to do while you're moving through the woods?
Aegis would just be remaining on top where she is, just kind of sort out, just waiting for, anticipation. Like, even though I think the dangerous past, she's probably just going to think, in case any tree branches come around, just wants to slash them.
Okay.
I'm going to be looking upward to see if the trees stop being enclosed in black.
Okay. I would say give me a perception. Are you just like trying to perceive the physical, or are you trying to perceive the supernatural?
Walter is mainly driving these horses, so he's trying to kind of idly notice if above him becomes less dark in a very basic ass Walter's perception of light kind of way. And if what he ends up perceiving to be brighter is or isn't natural, then I
Okay.
suppose that's just
I would
whatever
say
he
give me
perceives.
a perception plus alertness roll, please. Standard difficulty, because this is kind of the equivalent of like your passive perception.
Well, I double botched.
Ah,
Okay, I need to see which way this is going to go. High or
There were
low?
3 ones.
High or low?
We're going low.
You are convinced that if anything, these woods are getting darker. Like, you guys, is this the right path? Are we sure? Is this just some kind of trick? Like, things are seeming like worse. Like, you swear that you see faces everywhere in the trees, or, oh, was that another one of those? Was that a snowbank, or reflecting off? Was that light reflecting off the snow? Was that another one of those things, or was it that fast one coming back for more kind of thing?
In reality,
I don't feel
Liam's just
good about
covering the ring
this.
every once in a while.
Right.
I don't feel right, Leah. This don't look good. There's still so
Yeah.
many trees.
Yes, this place creeps everyone out, Walter.
Are you sure this is the right way?
I mean, Liam, are you sure this is the right way?
Liam, are you sure it's the right way?
I'm sure this is the right way.
See, he's sure it's the right way.
I'm not sure. I keep driving.
Well, just be sure, okay?
Leia,
Sometime-
Leia,
Yeah, what? What?
Tell Walter what I got from the cave. Just don't tell him to. I don't think I told him yet.
Fuck, what did Liam get from the cave? Oh, Liam got a thing from the cave.
Wow.
Thing from a cave. Why are we talking about that when we're still in danger?
I got the
What
werewolf.
do you mean a
claws.
thing? What is a thing? Hey, Leia, what's a thing in a cave?
And don't say it too loud. Don't say it too loud.
I meant to say, hey, Liam, actually.
Chad, you paint such a beautiful picture with your words.
This is so good.
It is like I am there.
This is literally just us when we're in the same room.
Wait till you get a whatchamacallit. I mean, that's when things get impressive. Or doohinky.
Oh, so good.
Do you elaborate on what a thing is, or does Chad need a reminder?
No, this was all part of the skit, but
No, I'm just asking. Do you decide to
no,
elaborate?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. I know what it is.
Yeah, Walter, he leaves you in suspense. You do not know what thing he got from the cave.
He got a tooth, a fang, a canine from one of the skulls in the cave we were just in.
No, so that's what Noah got. Liam got claws.
I mean claws. One of the two. I can't remember.
Sharp, scratchy thing.
That's what he got, Walter.
What is he trying to become? That's kind of cool. Wait, shit, isn't that bad?
You think anything he does is cool?
Yeah.
Asmodeus kind of leans over from his seat on the carriage and goes, I don't think it's bad if Furboy over there finds out you did it.
Oh, we should be quiet.
Yes. We shouldn't be loud about this.
Continue driving.
Just a shake. She doesn't even respond to either of you. She's just like, ugh.
So, what is just sitting there like
Did
looking at
the
everyone,
distraction work to calm Walter down?
Yeah, I just
I know, Walter, did this conversation take your mind off of the impending doom of the trees?
I am now very comfortable just doing what I'm told rather than letting my misperceptions guide or dictate me.
Perfect. Then it worked. Okay. Anyone else? Anything? Anything?
The only thing is Liam is just gonna kind of like whisper it to Henry a little bit. It's like, so your fire changed.
I'm sorry. If by change you mean a lantern was hucked off of the carriage, I believe that was Atris's doing, but
No. I mean your smoking barrel light. Well, it has a different hue now.
pulling from a different source. Similar effect, equally useful. Just
Well, I'm curious about something else, but that will be left for a more private time.
that's going to leave me in suspense.
I mean, it's not what you're thinking.
Somehow I doubt you know what I'm thinking.
I can tell you this, it'll be a fun experiment. And if I'm right, nothing will blow up this time.
I know you think that's comforting. And I appreciate that for you, you think that's comforting. All right. As you guys continue on, the trees do become less intense. The diameter of them do shrink, and it seems to be a normal wood for it's not quite as that feeling of that oppression and that emotion starts to fade and starts to feel like it's being left behind you. And for a moment, you're still in the woods, but they don't feel quite as oppressive.
Liam is just kind of continuously looking to see if the darkness starts to lift.
It does,
because as it lifts, he wants to turn off his ring so that he doesn't draw attention to himself.
It does start to lift, where it seems like the moonlight is coming through again. As there's the occasional pine tree, but most of the trees have lost their leaves for winters, so as such, it's not as much of a canopy, so there's more light that's coming through the forest floor.
I'm turning off the ring.
As you do so, you hear howl, a very familiar by this point howl off in the distance, seemingly behind you guys. PETA moves his horse up alongside, so that way he's kind of between the riders here and those driving the carriage, and he goes, again, seeming very tired. This seems like someone that's going off of like 2 hours of sleep in a 48-hour period. The gunshots were heard, but
Just look over at Asmodeus.
what? But they won't come this way. No matter what their suspicions were, they wouldn't come this way. It's why I chose this path.
Not even your people will come this way, even if it means something is in danger. It's that dangerous.
You saw what waits here. The other traps, my grandfather and Murukura would tell me stories. Those were to protect us from those that did not belong. These woods, they don't discern from our tribe or not. Many who fell here were enemies to the tribe in life. They are no more friendly to us now in death. And even those that were of our people, while the spirits of my ancestors who we faced on the shoulders of the grandfather, they were meant to protect my people. Here there's just pain, hunger. They'll attack anything that can help them feel whole again. And there's still a little bit of a ways to the village, but that is enough of a barrier where they would rather see what the forest does to us rather than inspect it themselves. I could see them coming if they absolutely are forced to by Ichitai. But if they're just patrols on their own, they're not going to willfully choose to search these woods.
It seems we'll meet them sooner rather than later, if they already know that we're here.
We are on the last leg of the journey to the village.
Unfortunately, and I do apologize about this, PETA, we have certain needs. We need, at least most of us, we need to eat. We need a little bit of time to heal. But we need, well, quite frankly, blood. And some of us need a good amount more than others.
He thinks for a second. What kind of blood do you need?
Well, at the very least, I've been able to keep my reserves, and my friend in the carriage is very helpful for me, but human would be best.
Can I hear this from the driver's seat?
I would say so, yes.
Animals are fun.
Except for, well, myself and our lovely assassin over here.
Animals are fine for some of us.
I can help you with animals. When it comes to people, you see he's struggling with something. I won't get in your way, but I can't help you. It just it goes against everything I was taught. And I've already bent as far as I can for the safety of my people, but if I bend anymore, I'll snap.
Fair enough.
There are often people who settle out here, though these lands are protected by my people. But there are those who have proven themselves not to be threats. They are good people.
Oh. It's always so much easier when they're bad people.
Yeah, we kind of try to avoid the good people.
No moral qualms on my end, just they tend to be missed far less.
There's some moral qualms. Don't listen to him.
He considers what Walter wants for a second and then looks at Liam and goes, that I believe, in response to what you say, Liam.
Oh.
Not actually. I might have an idea. It would, however, take us away from the path that we are currently traveling and add to our journey. But if we go this way, you might be able to find what you're looking for, and it would be something that in the long run my people would be not missing.
Well, it's merely a query on my end. I have no idea what your true needs are at the moment, Atris.
I could definitely use a little bit of blood. I'm not severe, but there will become a time very soon that I will need to eat before things become desperate.
Why don't we, I think we're past the darkest part of the woods. Why don't we stop up here for a bit? And I will say, Liam, you have noticed that the path is getting lighter and lighter and starting to fade, where basically the main part of the path was to get you through the most dangerous part of the woods. The Sister's Song is the next challenge. However, why don't you talk some among yourselves? The war party won't be leaving for a little bit of time, so we have some time to burn, and there is wisdom in you all reaching the village in a point of strength, not weakness. You're already outnumbered and, quite frankly, outmatched.
And you're throwing in your lot with us.
I believe your people have a phrase: beggars cannot select.
You know, I'm so sorry. In my upbringing, I just avoided the beggars.
Maybe it's the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
I'm
That-
familiar with that one.
Yes. Talk amongst yourselves. I will, if you want me to guide you directly to the next part of this journey, I will do so. If you want to follow my idea in your need to, and you can almost see that he can't bring himself to say feed, heal yourselves. I will guide you there first.
Well, thoughts?
Do you guys, Walter, do you decide to bring the carriage to a halt?
It makes sense to do that now. Yeah.
You guys kind of find a good place to stop, and the horses definitely seem a lot less skittish, a lot less concerned. Noah, you feel the carriage come to a stop. And Henry sees this and he stops his horse. PETA stops his horse, and PETA actually kind of leads his horse away to a bit where he starts like moving some of the snow and letting his horse eat some of the grass that hasn't been completely killed off by winter. And you guys, I'd say at this point you're looking at it being around 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. So still some time, a couple hours still before dawn approaches. And you guys are amongst yourselves. You can talk amongst yourselves.
Well,
I
yes,
wanna
What was that, Noah?
I wanna hop out the carriage and begin repairing the wheels as best as I can after that ride.
Henry will actually help you with that. So go ahead and make a Dex plus Craft roll. Anyway, beyond that, you guys are all within earshot of each other. Henry make repairs.
Are you talking like we just kind of head off this path that we're on, and then when we're done, come
Great.
back to this path and keep on it? And
Are you
that's
talking
from
to- are you
Walter
talking-
to PETA.
Oh, Peter had walked off to give you guys privacy to talk to him amongst yourselves.
Peter, come
I
back.
lit-
We have questions.
I walk over to him and ask him that.
Okay. Yes, where I'm thinking of going would be more to the east than the direction that we are currently heading. It would put us out of the way and add time to our travel, and potentially you run the risk of, when we do not make the direct route, there is always more chance of being discovered or scent caught by another patrol. However,
Right.
you do have, and he kind of holds his nose a little bit, those medicine bags that your friend made for you. And there is some wisdom in you being able to heal yourselves and striking out from a place of strength rather than your weakened form. So either plan has its strengths and weaknesses, which is why I leave it to you of what I'm afraid I am only vaguely familiar with your kind's needs and anatomy, and most of it is tainted by not kind perspectives. So I trust your group to know your needs more and what would be wisest for you to be able to face Ichitai and the other chiefs.
That's a very sober read you have on the situation. I just wanted to make sure we're gonna still get back to the path that we're on if we get off it. So
It's easy enough
Well,
to find.
we'll
I
be just
know-
as responsible for covering our tracks as anyone. So
I know where home.
Gotcha.
I can find it from almost any direction.
all right. I'm gonna walk back to the group.
Okay.
It's not that I'm thirsty, but this ain't going away. Walter points at some open, what is it, like collarbone area?
Mhm.
Liam's just gonna stick his finger
Ag
in it.
damage wounds. Walter has 3 ags, so he's just a
Yeah.
little wounded.
And Liam starts fingering your hole.
I just slap your hand,
How long have
which
you
is a
had
very
this?
unfamiliar motion for Walter.
Right?
How long have you had this?
A shoulder? Shit, how long you had
The
yours?
hole in your shoulder. Also,
God
you
damn it.
saw when Rebecca did this to my shoulder.
Well, I don't think I'm gonna take this to her ever. I want
mean
it back to the way
I
it was.
mean the hole, Walter.
It's when we were in that cavern with all the skeletons. One of them got real friendly with me. So I don't know if that's gonna.
I know that.
think I should
at
get
least know
better.
that Noah and Wea healed some of their damage. And I know we still have what? We have 3 red vials.
Yes, because you had what 4, and then you used 1.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Beatrice has 1, but she has no ag damage.
I have the one that I was offering to Noah, and he said no to, and then Wea has the other one.
Which was offered to Walter, and Walter was like, well, let's just see if we need it. Because drinking it's real fast compared to whatever would force someone to have to heal for a night.
Yep.
Let's just pretend Walter said something like that in his actual voice.
No. The vial does instantly heal a point of ag damage. 2 points of ag damage. And you don't have to concentrate. Like, if you think about it, that equivalent is 10 blood points and 2 nights of doing shit all other than willing your body to heal.
Yep.
And to give you an idea, 10 blood points is 1 whole human, like for most of you. For most of you, that's taking a person and draining them dry.
Hey, around this time, there's a couple billion of those in the world. We can find a human.
Mm-hmm. Well, Peter has not led us astray so far. He's offering humans, and I frankly can drain 1 entire human myself.
With
I too do need to regenerate myself.
Noah, I'll say while you're working on this, the conversation is still happening within, talking distance of you. So not saying
we're
you
around
have
you.
to, but if you choose to interject, you're within earshot of the conversation.
Only thing is, we've been on this real covert path here. We haven't been discovered by anyone as far as we can tell. If we go off this path, we're a little more easy to notice. So we're gonna have to do our best to be stealthy. With y'all's help, probably. And I'll tap Atris and nod at Noah, who can't even see Walter right now, but that's okay.
We get
I
a
just
source of
stick up a thumb.
if there's definitely a source of blood for me there, then covering our silence will not be a problem.
Gotta make sure we wear our smelly bags.
Smelly bags, smelly bags.
I was thinking that.
I know that, unfortunately, traveling in silence also costs Atris resources as well.
I don't know how quiet we'll need to be much of the way. We'll just see. It's more about not being maybe seen from a distance and not being smelt.
Without having that one gotten done.
Yes, we're talking about you, Asmodeus.
Also means not shouting once we're off this path.
Listen, the fucking trees were attacking, all right? I feel in the moment it was a smart course of action.
Nice.
I'm
Tell
going to
those
say
trees.
that it was an idea that you tried that was just not successful. There was a
I
lot
hit
of that
the
going.
tree. I consider that being successful.
I mean, you say you were successful. I say you got spanked, but
For some, that is a success.
So, do we continue on, or do we take the respite that we need?
Are we?
As
When
far
you
as I
put it
know,
like that,
as far as I know, Ichitai is not on a schedule with us showing up.
I will blood.
It's better to face this threat with full strength than partial strength.
this trip's running long. Let's regather so we can actually make it there in one piece and make it back in one piece.
I do
I
wish Adele
promise.
was here, though. That would make it easier to get a larger crowd more interested in us if the 2 of us were doing it. But for the moment,
You're not enough?
I miss being healed and not having to feed off something.
I was like, I
Well,
don't.
I got some
I
bad
don't
news
I don't
for you,
have
fellow.
majesty yet, and I still am never quite sure how that actually works on its own anyways.
Kind of a big passive buff. That's okay. You got me. I'm a budding new performer myself. Walter pulls his harmonica out. Climbs up onto the bench again.
Okay.
And
I will say
I don't start driving, I just
No.
start playing the harmonica.
Noah, I will say you and Henry, as is common with wagons and carriages, there actually is a toolbox in the back of this thing. So that way, if something for repairs and things like that, you're not just stranded with no way of like trying to fix anything. With your success, I will say, how much damage has the carriage currently sustained? 3 out of
3.
how many points?
That is
6.
6.
I will say with your successes combined with Henry's, because he actually rolled really well too, you guys fix 2 of those. So now it only has 1 point of damage again.
Wow.
Yeah, well, now I
Wow.
have questions for Peter.
Oh,
Peter.
I mean, he's not super far away. He's like 20 feet the other direction. Like,
Oh, and I know you're like, Peter, look, we know you have werewolf hearing. I'm not going to yell at you. You've been eavesdropping this entire time anyways.
he walks up. Again, he seems very tired. Like, this is also, besides the encounter with these things, this is a guy that's kind of been burning the candle on both ends of guiding you guys at night, but also being part of the crew that's awake during the day and helping to hunt for those that want to feed off of animals and stuff like that. So he comes up and he's like, yes.
So my question is, where we would be going off of the path? Is it a small colonizer settlement? Or is it a roaming band of misfits who are just annoying in the area?
It is an outpost held by your country's militia.
Oh,
They use it to restock and resupply, and also to, though they don't know what my people really are, they suspect that our home is somewhere in the area, and they try to keep tabs on our movements.
Army murder.
I'll say Walter specifically, as you are militia, go ahead and give me a wits plus streetwise roll.
I don't want to run into someone I know while I'm trying to eat them.
Phil, what are you doing here?
This is gonna be a high roll. It's 4. So it's not as high.
4. You have heard tale. Now again, it's been a while since you've been in active militia in the US Army. However, you did hear about from your contact there, the general of the Dragoons, of a plans of an outpost somewhere in this. It sparks something because again, it's been what, like
30 to 40 years.
30 to 40 years.
Plus whatever I came in contact with after I turned.
The eventual, because yeah, your contacts are current contacts, not like when you were human kind of thing, because otherwise they would all be old as fuck. But you do remember that there was talks just in Skullbutt in times and other jobs where you've kind of used your military prowess to talk up some people, that the US cavalry was planning on building an outpost out here as kind of like a way station, a way for people to water and feed their horses, a way for soldiers to have somewhere to rest, and also as an outpost to kind of, to see if this reference sticks. Have you seen Dances with Wolves?
Sure have.
Okay, so the whole point of Kevin Costner's that outpost that he gets assigned to out in the middle of the plains, out in the middle of nowhere, to try and one, be a refueling station, but also kind of keep a beat and track of indigenous peoples and their movement and numbers in the area, so that way the military can use that information to their advantage. That's kind of what this place was set out to be.
I heard of that place. Hadn't been there, but yeah, that's one of the Texas Rangers plans. That's one of the cavalry outposts. Sounds like.
Hmm.
You said they're watching y'all, trying to track y'all?
Yes, they are trying to take reports and assess danger and how easy it would be to, how much energy it would take to remove us from the equation.
Well, we
It
can
is
start
also,
making-
it is also an outpost that allows those of your people that carry messages on their horses. It's an outpost for letters to those who are carrying letters and messages to stop, rest, and continue on to where they're going.
So there's information to be gained as well.
Well, Walter, you would understand this to be
I was gonna say Pony Express, but I don't know if it exists.
I believe. Let me double check.
I
Let me
think
fact check for a quick second on my. I have my notes on my Google
It
Drive.
was 52 in my head, but I have no idea if that's even close to correct.
I mean, I know my contact's name, but I don't recall him being involved at all with, you know.
It actually isn't in existence anymore, really speaking. The Pony Express were horse-mounted riders from April 3rd, 1860 to October 26, 1861. It didn't
Oh,
last
no.
that long.
Really?
Yeah.
Such a small blip in history.
Such a well-known name for such a failed service.
I mean,
In the history way being taught in like high school or elementary school, I can't even remember.
Yeah,
Weird.
alright.
yeah, and it was between Missouri to California.
The postman.
But it's because beyond that, it wasn't a great source of getting mail, kind of contrary to what the Kevin Costner The Postman movie tells us, kind of thing. It was much more efficient once trains and stuff were a thing to either have mail delivered by
Right.
train, or because if you think about it, this year 1865 is when the transcontinental railroad is starting to be built. Once railroads became a thing, trains were much faster and much safer for delivering mail. And for more local thing, stagecoaches, in the same way that the banks and everything use stagecoaches to deliver bank reserves to the Federal Reserve and things like that. That was a much quicker way than a lone dude on a horse hoping that he doesn't get attacked or anything else to deliver mail to a whole bunch of people.
Yeah,
But
alright.
you get the idea that this part of Texas is still rural enough for at least local correspondence, or even maybe correspondence between military. It would be a less, it's slower, but it's also less auspicious and less of a target.
I'm just having like an amazing Assassin's Creed fantasy where we just go in, we kill everyone, we spend the day there.
I mean, you would have the idea, Walter, depending on how much this place is built up, it would potentially have shelter that you guys could take for the dawn. If there's any form of like a barracks or anything like that, there would definitely be. These kind of places usually have either some kind of wall around. This is just, I'm giving it to you without a roll because this would just be military knowledge that you would have, kind of thing.
Indeed.
If they
And we know-
succeeded in building up this place, it would have some kind of wall for fortification. It would have a barracks of some kind of building for storage of goods, both ammunition and also rations, and then perhaps an officer's quarters. Whoever was like in charge of the place usually would have their own structure separate from the main barracks. In the least built up, it's basically would be lumber, mud, and straw as the buildings. If it got funded more, it would actually be more built up actual, like brick and mortar buildings.
Which that ain't gonna be. This ain't gonna be.
If you had to guess, it's going to be more the latter than the, prior out here in the boonies.
That whole dawn shelter thing only happens if, the humans don't interfere with with our sleep. So I'm just gonna file that note away for a moment.
It
But,
depends on how many of them there are and how well you guys are at taking them out.
Oh, this sounds fun.
we brought our shelter with us too. It's noted.
The carriage is 100% sunlight proof.
And in addition to that, if we want to get in the door, we just say, hey, look, we have a Gatling gun. Want to see it?
I am all for this.
I'll charge
I'll
you
work
nickel-
on sums, but I don't think I'd work on the leadership.
I will say, and I'll just use this as your guys' common sense for the night because it's almost time to wrap up for tonight. You do know that if they see the Gatling gun, there are going to be red flags left and right because that is a military grade weapon that the plans of which are usually not shared with non-military. So civilians coming up, it would in this day and age of it being kind of the height of technology, that'd be the equivalent of nowadays, a US citizen having launch codes. Like it's definitely something that would rate. Now again, you could use that to your benefit of it would definitely catch their attention and draw them out to want to deal with you, but it also is going to catch their attention. So
I don't know what you're
Also,
talking about,
Atris
civilians. We're clearly special agents.
Special ops, dude.
Special
we have
force.
2 U.S. Marshal badges, and Atris has 2 huge assets.
Mhm.
I don't think either of those usually get
I
guns
mean,
like this.
You can dominate someone's brain and shit. So
You might
So Pete,
need
so
to
Pete is
talk your
looking
way
around
into
at-
that one.
PETA's looking around for you and he's like, so what's the plan? If we're going to try and make it there by tonight, then we
Oh,
need
he wants a plan? Who does he think we are?
plans are amorphous, Peter. You need to understand this.
We're
We're gonna need to sleep at
Yeah,
some
no,
point. And if
we
there's
won't
a
make it
lot
there.
for us to deal with, I mean, how long are we talking to get there?
from here. If we made it, we would get there just before dawn. It depends on how long you plan on taking.
Yeah, no. That would have to be something we do tomorrow evening then.
We'll need a
So,
little more time
and
to
I
sort
would
out what's there.
suggest we
Sleep
rest
first
here.
and breakfast.
We rest here in the cover of the woods where my people were less likely to come. And then first thing in the evening tomorrow, we strike out for this settlement.
We have tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon.
I
Let's
would
do
think
that
tomorrow
way.
evening.
When we arise.
It is.
Tomorrow night morning.
Whenever the fire in the sky goes down.
Very well. I will Henry speaks up and he adjusts his glasses and goes, when Bartleby wakes up, we will do our normal amount of hunting as best we can in the woods. So that way those of you that would gain anything from animals would at least have something to work with tomorrow evening.
Get something for yourself too.
Trust me, we have been.
Oh, Henry. Since we've stopped, I want to do the thing I was talking about.
All right.
The hopefully non-explosive thing.
Oh, okay.
Just come with me. So I take Henry off to the side.
Okay.
You might not.
No,
I pull out one of the empty glass vials that I got from the shop back near our homestead.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I remember when we first met, one of the reasons that you highly suggested that no one attempt to feed off of you was that your blood and our bodies were not, well, there was a reaction that would happen, a rather fiery, combustible one. I'm just curious to know if that's still the case. I'm just asking for a little prick.
You are what you eat. But anyway, so I just want to understand, and I use this word very loosely, your logic in this. On the verge of potentially wishing to storm a cavalry base with many of you already injured, you wish to experiment and see if my blood will injure you further. Just making sure that I'm tracking your train of thought correctly.
Yeah, yes, but within a controlled setting.
Okay, I need you to make a charisma plus expression roll. I want to see if you can talk him into this idea beyond his better judgment.
And he beat 3.
Oh, he already didn't like the idea. I just want to see how many successes. 3 is exactly the minimum you needed to
I had 4, but I had a 1, so it knocked me down.
Yeah, 3 is absolutely to be above average, because 2 or less and he was gonna say fuck no. Okay. He has a little eating knife on him that he pulls out, and
I'm gonna dig a small hole in the dirt. I'm gonna put the empty vial in there.
Okay. He pricks his finger, winces a little bit, but not too bad, and lets a drop of blood swirl into and drop into the vial.
And I just jump back as soon as I will.
Oh, so you're pricking your finger and letting a thing of vitae go in.
Yeah.
Okay. Go
What
ahead.
did he think we were doing?
I thought you were just going to assume it.
Oh no.
Go ahead and mark off a blood point. Go ahead and give me either perception plus alertness or perception plus awareness.
I have more in alertness. Okay. 2.
At 2 successes, you don't see anything happen. Go ahead and make a wits plus occult roll. Because it has to do with blood, I'll say it's standard difficulty, not higher.
4.
At 4 successes, it is a 50-50 chance now that the vitae has left where it's not like a part of you anymore. It could be that it's safe and that there's no reaction because there's no reaction. Henry no longer has that caustic effect. or it could be that because it's separate from both sources are separate from the host, it doesn't have the spark. Magic is weird. Magic
here's
is
the-
weird.
Well, here's my thing, because
Magic is weird.
last time that we did this, we actually did this on the bar countertop
Mhm.
when he was healing. So
Mhm.
the blood was separated last time as well.
Mhm.
So if I don't see like a little like tiny explosion or anything,
You do not see the same reaction that you saw before.
all right. So I'm just gonna carefully pull the vial out of the dirt,
Mhm.
just like swirl it around a little bit.
Okay.
Do I see anything?
You do not see it. You see 2 drops of blood that have. It looks like blood.
Interesting.
I'll let you do one more perception plus alertness roll. Difficulty on this one is going to be 8 because with that small amount of blood, it's a very, very small source.
Then I am going to use 2 willpower.
Okay.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. Okay, with the willpowers and the rolls, it's 6 successes.
Okay. You catch a faint whiff when you. I'll say you swirl around and you kind of like almost like someone sniffing a bouquet of wine. You obviously smell your own vitae. You smell what definitely still smells like human blood. Henry is still, for whatever else is swirling around inside him, he is still human. But there's something else that you catch. You can't put your finger on it. You don't know what it is. You've never experienced it before. But there's almost like, the best way I can describe it is like there's a spice to it. There's an extra kick. There's something else there.
It's coming. As a human.
Yes. So that I'll say with that, that's what you got. I mean, even with 6 successes, it's a very small amount to work with.
Well, still different reactions. And I just pour out the 2 drops into the dirt, cover it, and stick the vial back in my pack.
Okay.
See, no explosions.
See, no, well, good. I guess. Yes. And he looks a little confused at this too, and yeah, that tracks. And with that, I assume you guys head back to the rest of the group. Okay. You all start to bed down for the dawn. Are you all piling in the carriage again?
Oh yeah.
Sure am.
Okay.
Our safe-
Old carriage.
At this point, Henry and Peta are going to start to make a fire. They're going to bring the still unconscious Bartleby out, but they have blankets and everything. And you all bed down for the dawn, preparing to hopefully see this outpost and see what good can be gained from this, taking the gamble of going off course from the Lupine village in the hopes of replenishing and restoring yourselves. And that is where we're going to end it for tonight. Thank you everyone at home for watching. This was our first game back. We are still in talks about coming back and playing in person. We're gonna maybe run a test run, maybe do like a one shot just to kind of test it out. That way it doesn't interfere with the main storyline or anything like that. I have a couple of fun ideas of something we can just kind of play for a couple hours and have some fun. But everyone at home, thank you so much for watching. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, please like and subscribe. Tell your friends, comment below. We will answer any questions. They just might not be sensical answers. And until then, please keep your fangs and your wits sharp, and we'll see you next time on Tumbleweeds and Tombstones. Good night.